What's going on, Giants fans? Big Blue Crew, the Big Blue Lounge in the building. Got my man Joe here. Got Super Taj here, the hardest working man here in Twitter. Shout out to Coach Ed, Miz. Let me put the link in the chat for Miz because I put it on Twitter, but you might not see it. Miz wanted to pop on tonight.
Sure.
Um, the subject of the matter of this show tonight is the offense actually had a good day today. Offense actually had a good day in training camp today, and Kenny
Well,
Galloday showed up today.
and the rumors are flying that Martindale turned the creek down a little bit. If
Yeah,
that's true, if
He did
that's
tone down the
true,
fire.
if
Yeah,
he turned that down and that's true, look out.
Yeah, he did tone that down a little bit.
Look
Yeah.
out. We got
do
a
you got?
defense.
Yeah, I think Martindale has this defense locked and loaded and ready to go. Ojulari
His
is back.
defense is good.
Yup.
We
Yup,
know this
Aziz,
defense is good.
Yeah,
Kibido. Oh.
Top 10
Good.
defense.
what? Man, the pressures that he's creating, he already had Bill Belichick a little heated about the blitzes that he was sending
Right.
in the preseason.
He already got Bill Belichick.
It's like, what? So we play defense. I'm sorry.
Right.
That's what we do. That's New York Giants football.
I think he really has this defense intact. That's one thing positive Giants fans can have right now. If you want to look at a positive out source of this team, is I think our defense is actually going to be legit. Give them a couple of games to jail, and they can actually turn into one of the top defenses in the league. Maybe Tommy for Tommy. Thank you for tuning in. He says
Jared.
Dable. What's going on, Jared? He says Dable and company have a plan that shows taking advantage of injuries and evaluating all depth and rotational players is a real good look. The calm they have knowing the outcome expected to improve.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true. They didn't panic. They're just going to put out the guys that they have, and they're going to see exactly what we have as far as role players. And I think that's the best way to go about it. I think Ben Bredesen actually got injured today as well on the offensive line. So we've lost we haven't lost, but I think like 4 or 5 of our offensive linemen have gotten injured so far during this preseason and training camp, and that's not a good thing. Yeah, mostly our guards. Great that Andrew Thomas and Evan Neal haven't had a bump yet, but it's mostly the interior of our offensive line, and we gotta shore that up. Shout out to Ash and Jared in the chat. He says we definitely have the edges sealed on both sides of the ball. I think we do.
So
I think it's going to be a good thing going forward. But
see you on Twitter and stuff.
The subject today is Mr. Daniel Jones and Mr. Kenny Galloday, two of the hugest subjects going on in the Giants community right now. They want them both gone for various reasons. Kenny Galloday is like he shows up when he wants to show up. It's kind of crazy, but I'm on the side of you got to give this guy a chance to show what he can do in the regular season. See what he can do in the first couple of games, and if he's showing you the same thing that he's been showing you in training camp, then it's time to move on. But I don't want the Kenny Galloday situation and have us lose Colin Johnson in the process. I think Colin Johnson is he's a hidden talent, man, and I think if he gets the chance, I think he can really do some things for this franchise. What's going on, Rodney? What's going on, Doja? Thank you guys for tuning in. Nix, what's going on?
Yep.
Salute
Jared says
man.
Daniel Jones definitely showing flashes of his potential. Am I the only one seeing that, fellas?
No, you're not.
You're not.
Nah.
K Brooks, what's going on? Thank you for tuning in, K Brooks.
Yeah.
He says, good, we're sacking your quarterback. He's a bum. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in. Hit that like and subscribe button for us. This is my first time seeing you, K Brooks.
Yeah.
Nick,
Yeah.
what's up, man?
Hey, bro, who
Josh,
your team?
what's going on? Yeah, K Brooks, tell us who your team is.
Who your team?
Yeah, Johnson is hungry, man. He says, when will our team be healthy, Pat? It's a very good question, man. That's the riddle to the Giants right now. When are we ever going to be healthy going into a season? You never know. We haven't had it in what, 8 years at least.
Yeah, but we're staying low on the depth chart, or the injuries. I'm not so sure they all are injuries. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nod, nod, nudge, nudge.
I mean, I think we're going to go into the season the healthiest we've been in a long time, I believe. So,
Man.
Coach Ed, shout out to Coach Ed, man. Always putting out great content and great film breakdowns. Coach Ed, he says, Wink said during this presser that the defensive focus was more on fronts and coverage, not the normal blitz sets. That's true. And we was getting pressure like that. He wasn't even sending his normal blitz sets. He was just sending vanilla blitzes, and they were getting in there. People like Darren Beavers. And I actually looked at that first preseason game, Joe and Taj. Micah McFadden flashed in that preseason game.
Yep.
The linebacker that we drafted in the 4th round, he actually flashed. He has a lot of speed when he comes on those blitzes, man, and Darren Beavers as well.
Yeah.
I think we got some linebackers on this team that we can be proud of pretty soon.
Yeah,
we do.
For real.
Tommy for Tommy, thank you for commenting. He says Jones is improving. He doesn't pat the ball anymore, so it's a great sign. No matter how unproductive this offense seems to be, I think they are waiting for the season to explode. Our defense is nasty. True. Yep. Tudo.
Yep. That.
Tudo.
It's half a second, a quarter of a second even. Get that ball out of your hand. No, you don't take a second. It's on target.
Right. Tudo with the $4.99 super chat. Thank you, brother. He says, massive salute to Big Blue Crew. Drop by your office to pay the proper respects and for all Giants fans around the world to slap all stinky boys losers out the door. Forget about it.
Forget about it.
Oh, Pandemonium. Thank you for tuning in. Pandemonium with the $10 super chat. He says, Pat, the beat writer said DJ underthrow the ball to KG today, but if you look at the play, it was semi-perfect ball to the outside shoulder. Only KG could catch the ball. Pandemonium, I'm going to say this, bro. No matter what DJ does, the media is going to find something wrong with it. There was a route that Richie James ran, and Daniel Jones had to hold on to the ball until Richie James finishes his route. And they said Daniel Jones held on to the ball too long. So you wanted him to throw it earlier and be incomplete instead of a completed pass. So it really doesn't matter what Daniel Jones does to this point. I'm just wishing him the best going forward in the season. Hopefully he can show us that he can be the quarterback of the future, because that helps us out tremendously as far as drafting next year. If we don't have to draft a quarterback super high or give up assets to move up to the, let's say, the 2nd or 3rd pick, and we're able to keep our draft picks and keep our players and just build around Daniel Jones, that would be great. But Daniel Jones is going to have his chance, and Daniel Jones is going to have to ball out in order to stay on this team. And that's just what it is. You can critique him as much as you want, and you can bash him as much as you want. I just hope the kid balls out so he can have a future here with the Giants. And if he doesn't, he won't be here. Here is a fan favorite. What's going on, Miz?
Miz.
The
Miz.
Oh, Miz popped out. Yeah, Wi-Fi went out. Miz will be back on. Jared, he says he has a question. He says, I have one question. How do you know that he's a bum if his past staff screwing him up? That's what I've been saying the whole time, but according to everybody, they already know he's a bum. Miz, what's going on, Miz?
What's going on, guys?
Hey.
Enjoying that Florida weather. What's going on, brother?
Yeah. How you guys, man?
Yeah, we're okay.
I'm doing good, man. Now, what I'm gonna do right here,
Pat knows
what I'm gonna do right here. My dear friend, Mr. Miz, he's been asking me, could he have some time to speak his mind? So I'm gonna let Miz speak his mind right here in the Big Blue Lounge. No place better for him to speak his mind. You know, the Miz normally doesn't speak, but when the Miz speaks, we listen. So, Miz, you got the floor, brother. Say what you got to say.
What's going on, guys? What I want to say is this, and I've written some stuff on Twitter, but there's a large part of this fan base that makes me really angry, and it's the younger kids. That it's pretty simple, man. There's half this fan base now roots for this team to fail before the season even starts because they have such a hatred for Jones, whether he's not hip or he's not cool or he's not the athletic, amazing player that everybody wants the guy to be. He's not Michael Vick or Mahomes. But
one second, Miz. 1 second. Yeah. Shout out to the new member to the YouTube channel. Thank you for talking your talk with Big Pat Sports. I'll becoming a member of the Big Blue Crew, Mr. Mark Stewart. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Subi Guru, thank you for tuning in. But go ahead, man. Sorry. Go ahead.
But you sit here as a Giant fan, and it's been 6-7 bad years. And you're not even 3 weeks from the season yet. The season hasn't even. You got people rooting for the Giants to lose. They want Jones on the bench. They don't want him to play. And you hear this stuff that's just. It's just not true, man. I mean, Daniel Jones is the best quarterback on this team right now. Whether Daniel Jones will be here in the future, we don't know. But how do you not go into the season as a fan, rooting for the man who's put in hard work and wears your Giants clothing? How you don't root for your guy? And all you could do is shit on the guy in bed. And then call yourself a fan. And you have to see how many hypocrites are out there. I hear things tonight like, oh, it's not fair. Justin Fields has the worst O-line in football. Well, now, isn't that funny? For the last 3 years, welcome to Daniel Jones's world. But nobody talked about that. All they want to do is put the blame on Daniel Jones. He had no O-line. He had no Barkley. The receivers were never healthy. 3 systems in 4 years. Like Mara said, they've done nothing for this guy to succeed. And you got guys tonight complaining about Justin Fields' O-line. I'm talking about Giants fans. It's puzzling and it's embarrassing, man. And this guy is putting hard work. You see he puts in the most work on the team. Is he a superstar quarterback? No, he's not. But the man, let's be fair. Give this guy 6 games of regular season before you toss him out the window. Like, honestly now. And I'm the same way. I'm not one of these two-sided people. I'm the same way about Golladay. I am not going to get mad at Galloday because he doesn't want to go full-blown speed on a 5-yard and out in training camp. I'll judge him in the regular season. I'll give these guys 4 to 6 games. Let's see where we at in week 6 going into week 7, honestly.
All right, that was Mr. Miz, and I have to agree what he's saying.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, people, Giants fans, we are extremely negative. Shout out to Mark Stewart for being a member of the channel, man. Thank you guys. Thank you. Give him a warm welcome to the Big Blue Crew.
Yeah.
Shout out to everybody.
You see my problem. Damn right. You see my problem. Okay, I'll clap for you. I can't do it.
Shout out to Darren Gordon. What's going on, brother? He says Zach Wilson was horrible last year. Justin Fields was horrible last year, and they don't receive half the criticism Jones gets. I don't get it. Let me elaborate on this right quick. That's why I put it on this comment right here. Okay. Now, I've seen that too, Miz. Now, we're not going to say the people who were putting it out there about the Justin Fields situation. If they want to let themselves known of what they said about the Justin Fields situation, then they will do that. But I will say this. How can you say, man, Justin Fields, man, he's not getting any protection, man. He just looks bad. The Bears are killing him. They're going to ruin his career. But then on the other hand, and say it doesn't matter when it comes to Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
How can you say that? How can you say, oh, the Chargers might ruin Justin Herbert? He hasn't made the playoffs because they haven't been drafting well. But when we say Dave Gettleman wasn't drafting well with Daniel Jones and they were doing stupid stuff to mess him up, oh, that's an excuse. Daniel Jones just sucks. Now, is it that Daniel Jones is not the runner that Justin Fields is, or he doesn't bring you the excitement that Justin Fields does or Justin Herbert does, and that's the reason why you say Daniel Jones just sucks? Is it that he doesn't make the couple of splash plays every game and they still lose? Because in my book, when it comes to football and the people that play football, a loss is a loss. It doesn't matter if you go 4-12 or throw for 4,000 yards, or you go 4-12 and throw for 2,500 yards. You're still 4-12. That's just the way I look at it. And nobody on this panel, I don't believe, that says Daniel Jones is a franchise quarterback. The closest you might get to it is Joe, because Joe, he likes Daniel Jones, and I can't blame him. I like Daniel Jones too, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you that he's just a super quarterback.
Oh no,
I don't know. I don't know what he could be.
I never.
And
did.
That's a shame.
I said, he's on the team, I'm going to root for him. I'm sorry. It's built my blood. If I like it, I can't. He's my quarterback. I got, if I don't have another one on the team, well, he's the one we got. Who else is there? I mean, who else was out there to root for? Nobody.
Right. Shout out to a couple more guys that came into the chat. Some regulars. Timothy Frith. He says Giants will win their 9th NFC East title with a 15-2 record and route to their 5th Super Bowl title this year. Hopefully that happens, Tim. Jared.
No,
Deception. What's going on?
Tackles. I'm not personally coming at anybody. I'm just, listen, man. I'm just about, let's give this kid a couple of games, you know?
Yeah. I'm not talking about the next 3 years, but you know, it's his 4th year. He should come out being able to prove something and to do it. Yeah, he should.
Points of the season, like you're rooting for your team to lose already in preseason.
Yeah, right. but they gave him a year to prove right or wrong or different. You want to go be the quarterback of the future? Here you go.
All right, let me get back to this chat real quick. Jairus, what's going on, Jairus? Reek, what's going on, Reek? King of Mushrooms in the building. Deception, he says, call me old-fashioned, but I root for the logo on the front, not the name on the back. As long as Jones is wearing blue, he's my guy. Truth.
Facts, boy.
Pseudo.
What's up, Delia?
He said Miz is obviously coming at me. I don't think Miz was coming at you, Ash. I mean, if you want to come on and explain yourself, you can. I mean, you don't have to explain yourself to anybody. You're a grown man. You have the right to say what you have to say. In all honesty, I just find it kind of weird that other people get breaks for the same thing Daniel Jones is going through, and he doesn't get one. He doesn't get anything. Blue City, what's going on, brother? He says, breaking news, Darius Slayton on the trade block. I have to get it from Rappaport or someone like that before I can believe it.
Yeah.
Tommy for Tommy, I think we need Slayton, to be honest with you. He says this team is built to win now in the trenches, run game play, action control, the time of possession. Let the defense dominate, play call the receivers open, allow playmakers to create space. True. Steve and Bloom, what's going on?
Hey.
I don't know if that's official yet. Deayla, what's going on? Good to see you, Deayla. Hope you're okay. Hope your family's doing all right.
What up, Deayla?
Shout out to Pandemonium with another $5 super chat. He says, Pat, if you want to know who DJ is, just look at his numbers when he's throwing the shep. True. He has very good numbers when he has protection.
Yeah.
And he's throwing it to show.
Yeah. There he is, Adam. Let's go.
Yeah. Adam's in the building. Adam, if you want to come on and say your piece, brother, I'll put the link in the chat for you. Like I always tell you, hope your family's okay and hope the baby's doing well.
What's good, fellas? Can y'all hear me?
What's going on, NYG? He says,
yo, I miss
Buko in the building.
Buko, man. I miss Buko, one of the most in Staten Island.
Buko, man.
Darren Gordon, he says, Pat, You fools like Keyshawn Johnson saying Tyrod Taylor will replace Daniel Jones by week 6, not happening. I believe Jones will have a solid year. I believe he'll have a solid year as well, but we will have to see if that's enough to keep him on the roster in the future. We'll have to see that.
Yep.
And that's true. Buko, good to see Buko, man. I hope you're doing all right, Buko.
I gotta say something, Pat. I gotta make something clear to some people out there. This theory that Taylor's a better quarterback than Jones, stop it. People better stop that. That's just coming from a hate. Because there's no way you could sit here honestly tell me Taylor's the better starter for this Giants team than Daniel Jones.
I mean, yeah, I'm gonna
I
get.
know Taylor's good. I'm not saying Taylor's not a good quarterback. He is. But right now, where we are at this time in Giants history, Daniel Jones has to start, and he has to start a couple of weeks. Let's see what we got before we move on. We all know the Giants most likely and can draft a quarterback in the next draft. But you got to let Jones have a fair chance behind what might be the first time a decent O-line and a healthy Barkley. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I'm going to comment on that.
The fair chance
go ahead,
thing is,
NYG.
The fair chance thing, I feel like, is biased because those same people will say boot Slayton to the fucking moon, excuse my language, but stick up for a guy like Kenny Galloday. And I put the joint out there on Twitter of the stats. I mean, go look at it, man. And if you just look at the production, but they want to sit there and argue about Daniel Jones and Tyrod Taylor. Like, why is it different when you're talking about another player at another position?
I'm going to comment on that, NYG. Let me get this real quick. Pandemonium with another $5 super chat. Thank you, brother. Pat, people didn't realize that the number 2 should have had 3 picks versus the Pats. He should have. Adam, I see you on board. If you got something to say real quick before I get into my little thing, go ahead, brother.
I think we're sitting here talking about Daniel Jones too much. I mean, the guy is what he is. Okay, he's going to be average, and that's what he is. It's not a bad thing. It's not a good thing. He's going to be what he is. Okay, if we're going to need an upgrade, we're going to need an upgrade. I'm tired of sitting here talking about this guy every week because he does something good or bad. We know what he is. There's things he has to work on. If he doesn't work on these things, he's going to be got. That's it. Period.
Yep.
The thing I want to talk about, Adam, like I said, Adam's gonna say his piece. You know, he has no filter. But the thing I want to talk about, though, you guys really should start paying attention to what Unpopular Opinion Sports says, aka NYG22. I'm gonna be real with you guys. That guy Slayton is getting bashed tremendously. They want to trade him, they want to cut him, they want to do this to him. But when you really look at the stats, that dude's been probably the most consistent receiver on the Giants the past 3 years. I know it sounds crazy. I know it does.
Well, he did fall off last year. I mean, if he ended up with the same numbers he had his first 2 years, I could say, okay, he's consistent. But something happened between year 2020 and 2021 where he just fell off. I don't know if the Washington
team fell off. Adam,
Michael R, what's going on?
I understand that, but you got to produce. And I don't know if it's the Washington game where he dropped the football, where everybody was at him, that he just lost confidence. But he wasn't the player that he normally was, and he played through injury in 2020. Okay, he injured his foot in 2020. He probably should have had better numbers, but he sat out a couple games because of his injured foot. And then last year, fully healthy, he didn't do much. I know everyone else didn't do much. I get it, but still, when the ball gets to you, you can't drop it. You gotta do what you got to do with your touches.
One drop in one game, though, man. You can't kill a guy's career.
Go look at his numbers. He has more than one drop there. NYG22. I'm just talking about one game. I'm talking about his whole career and also last season.
But Adam, let me come to NYG's defense on this, bro.
2021, but in 2019 he had 2 drops. So if these guys want to sit here and talk about Daniel Jones being on this team, Darius Slayton needs to be on this team too, because Darius Slayton was one of the most consistent receivers for Daniel Jones his entire career. And he still trusts this guy more than anybody. So if Daniel Jones is your quarterback, you're gonna get rid of his favorite receiver outside of Sterling Shepard?
Technically, Sterling
Shepard. We know Shepard's his favorite. But
I'll be honest with you, I'll be like this. He has a great point. He has a great point, Adam, because when you look at the actual stats, he wasn't even in I never said team in drops.
I'm not saying he's a bad guy. He's a 5th round pick. If he leaves the team, I'm not shedding a tear. If he stays on the team, good for him. Okay, I mean, we're acting like this guy is a Hall of Famer. He's an okay player, and for a 5th round pick, he's exceeded what we expected. But now, when you expect something, you want something. Back-to-back years of 40 something catches and 700 yards and 6 touchdowns and 8 touchdowns, I expected a little more than what I saw last year. You know.
I mean, I think we expected a little more from everybody last year, but and that is reasonable, Adam. I mean. Yes, he did take a step backward last year. I think.
And the only reason he's getting flack right now is because in April, he's dropping passes all over the field. It wasn't until just now where I guess someone got in his ass and he's starting to catch the ball again. Because when he first started camp, everybody, read all the reports, everybody's saying this guy is not going to be on the team if he keeps dropping footballs day in and day out. Now, he didn't drop footballs. He's been elevated to the first team because of injuries and because they want to showcase him. I don't know if they want to trade him. I don't know. Who knows? Right now, you can't trade him because you ain't got nobody on the field.
Right now, exactly, Adam. True. You don't have nobody on the field. So why are you going to give away a receiver when your receiving core is already shaky? Yeah, we like.
But let me look at it. Let me break it down like this. Okay, there's 4 spots that are guaranteed. Okay, there's Kadarius Toney, there's Wan'Dale Robinson, there's Kenny Golladay, and there's Sterling Shepard. 4 are locks. Now, unless you're going to keep 7 receivers, that leaves 2 spots left. Now, I'm going to give one to C.J. Board because of special teams, and that leaves Richie James and Darius Slayton and Colin Johnson fighting for 1 spot. So now you've got to ask yourself, who plays more special teams, Colin Johnson or Richie James or Darius Slayton? If the answer is Richie James and Colin Johnson, then I'm going to take those guys over Darius Slayton. That's just a numbers game.
I'm not giving a roster spot to C.J. Board because he can play special teams. That's that Joe Judge, Dave Gettleman type nonsense right there.
I mean,
we looking for guys that
pretty important.
It is important, but you got other guys. You know, you got Cam Brown. You got.
Well, he's also a kick returner around. He's a kick returner. He's a kick returner right now, and he's a gunner on the team.
To do that.
I'm just saying, but I just told you.
Hold on, fellas. Let me get back to the chat real quick, and I'm gonna let you guys continue. Give me 1 second, Adam and NYG. Jeffy, what's going on, Jeffy? Tommy, he says the defense will give our offense multiple opportunities. Great field position. KG will shine with Robinson staying open and Joker keeping the league on skates. Barkley will have an MVP season. KG eats. I hope that's true, Tommy. Book in. Thank you for tuning in, brother. He says, and the people that say he flat out sucks or is trash, that's just hate. You can think that he's not a top 10, 15, but the dude ain't trash. That's just silly talk. I guess that's about Jones. Marquise, thank you for tuning in, Marquise. Good to see you, bro. Hope that everything is good. Hope everything's going good with your family. Ain't seen you in a while, Marquise. Says Slayton lost his confidence when Galloday got signed. I don't believe that's true. I believe Joe Judge, and I'll have to give a public apology to Adam about Joe Judge. But Joe Judge, I think, crushed a lot of people on this team. Now that all the reports came out about everything. So I'm man enough to publicly apologize about that.
No problem, man.
Darius Slayton says is a piece. He's not a receiving one. The coaching staff will use him properly. I will talk about Darius Slayton real soon. Diala, he says, he's been dropping the ball since college. That was his not coming out. That is true. Yes, he can get deep for us, Tommy. Pause. Robinson will have over 65 receptions, 750 yards, and 5 touchdowns. If he does that, somebody has to go. Somebody's not getting playing time if he does that for sure, because he has to be on the field if he's doing that his rookie year. Last year, no one produced, and that was because we literally had the worst O-line in history, so I consider last year a wash for players. Me too, in a sort. Me too. Pandemonium with another super chat, $10 super chat. He says, Adam, You wrong on this DJ issue. The only thing wrong with DJ is that he is like a soldier in the army. He's going to do whatever his coach tells him to do. Adam, hold on before you respond. Let me catch up at the chat because I know you're going to respond.
Yes.
Honey Badger's in the building. King Tone's in the building.
Yeah.
Alex, what's going on, brother? We almost got 50 in the chat tonight. Thank you guys for tuning in. Buko, he says, I didn't know Coach Dabo was on the Steam AK.
Hello.
Called him Coach Dabo.
The team. Big
Blue Ortiz, what's going on, brother? He says, hey, Big Blue Crew, let's keep it 100. We have all our receivers. We have to prove themselves this year, so we don't have a 1, 2, 3, 4, but we will find out who's our number one. I mean, it's true. Everybody has something to prove on this team. But just to go off what NYG and Adam are saying, I don't think either one of these guys are wrong about any of the points that they put out here tonight. Yes, we have a little bit of passion about our Giants because we're passionate about our Giants, but only thing I say about the bashing of players is just come with legit stuff. Like Adam. I don't hear Adam saying anything about, Justin Fields is not producing because his offensive line stinks, and then turn around and say, well, Daniel Jones stinks. I don't care what our offensive line is like. He doesn't do that. He's consistent in what he bashes Daniel Jones about, and he has a point. Same thing with NYG. He doesn't turn around and do that either. And he's also fair in his opinion about every player, just like Adam is. Adam is not going to share a tear if Darius Slayton is cut.
Nope, listen, man. Look, first off, that guy who gave you $10, good for him. Let me address that guy for a minute. All right. Yeah, a soldier is supposed to do what you're supposed to do, but at some point, you got to look at the mirror. If this guy is really the player you want, because you can tell me all the excuses about the offensive line. My argument has nothing to do with that. My argument has to do with the player himself and the things that I listen to and read and have seen. The same scouts that I've listened to and watched about this guy said that he had the same problem in processing the football. That the guys who are at practice who watch it are saying that he is still taking 3 seconds to deliver the football. That has nothing to do with the coach telling him anything. That has to do with Daniel Jones. Okay, we're talking about DJ. I'm not talking about Coach fucking buttfuck or whatever the fuck coach he's playing with. I'm not. Okay? I'm talking about Daniel Jones himself. If he can't process in this game, it don't matter how good he is or what he does. There's one scouting report that says that he doesn't do well with the linebacker hooks in his zone. They said that it's been happening for 3 years. So if that's consistently happening in the NFL and that continues to happen now, he's still going to have trouble. Okay? These things are what I'm talking about. Those things need to be fixed in order for him to be the elite player we want him to be. And if they're not going to be fixed, he's going to be out the door. Period. End of story. I don't want to hear that he's going to have rookie year numbers because his rookie year numbers are average. I need elite starter level numbers. I need a guy who's going to come in here and move the football in 4 plays down the field against second team backups. I mean, look what the Eagles did. That first team came in, bang, bang, boom, scored on the Jets. Next drive, they got the ball, scored on the Jets. That's what I want to see. I want to see the practice report we heard today about how the offense did well and Kenny Golladay is going over the field. I shouldn't have to be like, wow, Daniel Jones did a good job. I should expect that. As a Giant fan, you should expect your quarterback to be good ever since he steps on the field. That's my point. My point has nothing to do with the man or if he listens to directions, because most players do. I'm talking about the problems and his weaknesses are still his weaknesses. He hasn't gotten better at those. And if we want to gloss over that, that's fine. But if I have to bring it out and let you guys know, then I'm going to let you guys know. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not saying I'm not going to root for the guy, okay? I'm not saying that I'm not going to hope that he does well. I'm just telling you what I see that he needs to improve on. If you don't like that, too bad. You don't like criticism? All right. That's what this game is about. That's the problem I have with Giant fans and sports fans in general. We're all soft these days. We can't take somebody's criticism because, you must be a hater. You must be a Giant hater because you talk about Daniel Jones so badly. No, I'm the only guy that can say, honestly, that this guy needs to improve. Honestly, did Tyrod Taylor have a good game? Not really. But did he do things better than Daniel Jones in the game? Clearly, yes. There are certain things that he did better. Were his decisions as good? No. Do I think it was a boneheaded play to roll out, turn your shoulders, and throw the ball right into coverage? Yeah, I think that was stupid. But the fact that he did that movement is better than what Daniel Jones says, and that's a fact. That's not taking anything away from Daniel. That's just telling you what he's good and he's not good at. I'm sorry to go on a rant. I'm sorry.
Boy, did I come in at a good time.
Let me piggyback off what Adam just said though. When you say somebody is a hater of a player, like you're a Daniel Jones hater, a Kenny Galloday hater, a Darius Slayton hater, you gotta
shout out to
understand what that
Authentic
word
and
means.
Tony and Wells.
That's extreme disdain for someone. I don't hate nobody on the New York Giants. I don't. I root for all these guys. You know what I'm saying? But as a fan that we pay money to this team, to watch this team, you have a right to be critical. If you go in and you buy a TV and it don't work and you take it back and the store say, nah, that TV's fine, you just a hater. Like, come on.
Right. It's
You have a right to be critical of something that's not working properly, that's not producing, that's not performing.
right. And people think that I just hate the guy because I criticize him.
Yo, let me say something right here about this. Shout out to Authentic for being in the chat.
Okay.
Authentic brother, we gotta have a conversation. If you could come on the platform whenever you can. I know you're a busy dude, or I could come on your show. However we do it, we have to have a conversation about some things, man. I just want to get that out there for Giants fans. I think the Giants fans will love that. You let me know, DM me if you can, and we'll work something out if you want to. But we as Giants fans do need to get off that. We need to get off of. I just think it's just super negative, man. It's like we only want to post the negative stuff. We never post anything good. I'm not saying that people on this panel are doing that. I'm just saying Giants fans in general. And if the only thing you seeing about somebody is just negative, what do you think the result's going to be about that person? A negative result. It's like if you don't hold on. It's like if you don't say Daniel Jones is trash, you're a hater. Or if you not a hater, but you're an apologist. If you say Daniel Jones needs to work on things, you're a hater. Both things could be right. Daniel Jones might not be trash. Daniel Jones might not be trash, but he damn sure has some things to work on. And I root for Daniel. I want him to be the Giants quarterback in the future because that helps the team. But I'm not going to sit here and say that he doesn't have flaws. Man, he has plenty of flaws that he has to work on. And he's going to get his chance this year. Point blank period. Like Adam said, he's tired of talking about it, and I don't want Adam to talk about it anymore because all it does is cause frustration and cause rants and cause ignorant stuff.
Right. Exactly. See, here's the thing.
And we're all tired of talking about it. You know
Let me just defend my stance here so people maybe understand where I'm coming from. I'm not trying to – I don't hate Daniel Jones as a person. He's a good guy, you know. And as a matter of fact, I rooted for the guy when everybody else hated him on draft night, okay? I was the only one, and I can go get my wife now and have her vouch for me because she was sitting in the room. When everyone was going, boo, why they drafted him at 6? I turned to her and go, oh, understandable. I understand why they did it. You know what I mean? Because the literally 10 minutes before the draft started, Daniel Jeremiah said you're going to draft the quarterback 10 spots ahead of where you normally draft him. I sat there and said, if he's going to go at 17, then he's probably coming at 6 because that's about 11. That's about 10 or 11 spots where that sweet spot is for a quarterback if you want him, right? And so they took him. And everybody in Giant Stadium's like, boo, boo, you know, everybody. And it was more so, I think, towards Gettleman than it was actually Daniel Jones. But I studied tape on that kid from sun up to sundown. I went through every scouting report to find out what was wrong. And the same 4 bullet points that came up on the scouting report was he doesn't process well, he turns the football over, and sometimes he runs like an idiot. Well, guess what? Those 3 things still are here today. He still runs like an idiot, meaning he doesn't slide. He still has some tough time processing. And then the last thing that they said was that his feet are a little jumpy, still a little jumpy in the pocket. Those are things that need to work on for Daniel Jones that he hasn't worked on, that are still lingering 3 years later. But people want to just say, well, you're a Daniel Jones hater because you hate the guy. No, I gave the guy his time. I saw enough of the guy, and I'm saying with a new regime, it should just be a clean slate across the board. Now, they want to give him one more year. By all means, give him one more year. But their actions are not speaking like they want to give him one more year. Their actions are speaking like, we don't really want this guy, but he's here. Because I guarantee you, John Mara, hired Joe Shane and Brian Dable because he wanted to keep Daniel Jones. And I'm sure that a lot of the other guys that they interviewed were like, yeah, we want to move on from the guy. And Joe Shane probably said, yeah, I'll give him a chance. And Brian Dable said, yeah, I'll give him a chance. And then, of course, he comes out and says, we friggin' screwed this kid up. Well, what do you think is going to happen? All those people in the media who hated this kid all of a sudden now love him because John Mara said, give me a break. Give me a break. All I'm telling you guys is what I see his negatives are and what other guys that I follow in the business say, and I read about. So I'm just conveying to you an idea and a thought process that may not be out there. That's all.
All right, Adam, I'm going to respond to this, so don't respond to this. I'm going to respond to it. Pandemonium, thank you for the $5 super chat. He says, AD, coaching matters. You think Brady would be Brady without proper coaching? Everybody needs help. Now, I'm going to elaborate on that, and then I'm going to kick it to Miz and Joe, and I want them to talk about this defense because we're going to get off these subjects. But, yes, that is true. That is true. Everybody needs proper coaching. I don't care who the player is, how great the player is, how talented he is. Everybody needs proper coaching. And we all know Joe Judge was not the proper coach to be here. He's giving people headaches over there with the Patriots. Yes, Daniel Jones has been given a raw deal from the very beginning. After they snatched Pat Shurmur away from him, he's been getting a raw deal ever since. But the saying is true with Adam and people like NYG, Authentic. The saying is true about Daniel Jones as well. I don't give a damn what happens this year. The whole roster could get injured. If he does not produce this year, it's time to cut ties because it's been too long. That's not bashing anybody. It's just that, hey, it's not working out. I consider it like a relationship. You're in a relationship with a woman and you're always arguing and something happens, and it's really not either one of you guys' fault. You're just not meshing. We have to go our separate ways. So it is. You just got to go our separate ways with that. Daniel Jones is going to be Daniel Jones. If he produces, he'll be here. If he doesn't, we'll be rooting for another quarterback very soon.
No more talking. It's put up or shut up time. 9/11's coming here right around the corner. So
and that's why I respect. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Well, I was gonna say that's why I know I just jumped on a little bit late, but that's why I respect where MYG, Adam, Authentic, and anybody else that have been talking about Daniel Jones this whole time. It's okay to be critical about your players on your team. It's not the end of the world. You're allowed to talk about what some of these players have their faults and hope that they can improve on it with coaching as well as their own fundamentals going forward. There's nothing wrong with that. That's being a fan. You have to understand and respect where they're coming from. You don't have to love it. You don't have to agree with it. But it's not like they're going out there wishing that these guys don't succeed. There's a difference between that, and that's why this entire time we've been talking about this, and I'm putting it to rest after this for myself specifically, I respect where Adam's coming from, NYG, Authentic, anybody that's been against Daniel Jones or any of these players on this team. You're allowed to have your opinion and say that these guys are not where they are, where we were hoping they could be right now, and that these guys still have some more improvement to do, Daniel Jones specifically. But it's not like these guys, that's not like NYG, Authentic, Adam are going out there and rooting and saying, oh, I hope that he sucks. I hope that he doesn't succeed this year. No, of course they want to see the guy do well. But it's just about what they can do on the field right now, what they've seen with the eye test. And the eye test right now shows that Daniel Jones still has some things to work on, and that's what you want to do as an unbiased fan. You don't want to be a fanatic and just say everything's golden and rosy, or the other way around and say everything is horrible. You have to do that as a fan and be able to point out some of the things that these players need to work on, like Daniel Jones. So that's why just see what this guy can do this year, and what you said before, Pat, and everybody else. If he doesn't get the job done, no more excuses, injuries, or anything, That's it. He's gone. You move on. You draft your quarterback next year.
Are we still talking about the
I'm sorry.
damn quarterback?
Let's talk about this defense, man. I have
Wait.
piece, but
Wait. Before we hop off the Jones, I want to still say something. Well, my problem is this, man, and I've spoken to Pat, Adam, and I always
Pause, Miz. You hopping off the Jones?
Authentic.
Sheesh.
Hold on. For people, it's not that we all don't know that the Giants are 95% drafting a QB next year. I think we all know that. But it's the people that want to see Jones fail before we even started the season. That's my problem with people. And act like we haven't had the worst O-line the last 3 years in football. We haven't had a goon of a head coach that should have never been a head coach. He's had 3 systems in 4 years. Barkley hasn't been healthy in 2 years. He's never had his wide receivers in one game together, maybe one game. All that stuff. Don't ignore all the other stuff. I'm not saying Jones is great, never did. But the Giants have done nothing to help him be successful.
That's
True
true.
statement.
Shout out to Michael R. With the $5 super chat. Thank all you guys. DJ was the second QB drafted in 2019 and still the second best QB of the draft today. His stock didn't go up, but it also didn't go down versus 2019 drafted QBs. That's actually true.
That's true. Yeah.
That's actually true.
Not much to compare.
I mean, that's not saying much.
It's not saying much, but that's actually true. But man, let's talk about this defense, guys. Let's get to some positive stuff, please.
Hey,
thank you to the 53 in the chat. That's positive. But let's talk about this defense. I know the Miz and Lou came in at the right time. He's be the one to talk about the defense. What do you guys think?
What's good, Lou?
Big Man is peeking at us through the corner. His eyes are bing.
I want you guys to give your honest opinion of what Kayvon Thibodeau and Azeez Ojulari could be for this team this year. How do you think they progress this year?
Dynamic duo.
Give me what you think these guys can provide for the Giants.
Batman and Robin.
Yes.
Yeah.
But man,
we're gonna start with Joe. We're gonna go to Lou, and then we're gonna go down. I'm gonna take a quick break, real quick. But Joe, you start off, and then we'll go down.
You start off with me.
Fellas. Yeah.
Man, I like this damn defense.
Whoa.
This damn defense is gonna do something this year. I'm sick and tired of having no one to really root for because everybody's like, nobody was a star. And nobody was trying. A lot of people were trying, but they were getting hurt. And people are getting hit too hard or trying to do too much, making mistakes. So on and so forth. Now we got something. We got names that we know. We actually we worked on the draft. We had done a lot of mock drafts on here and on Lou's page, and we like our draft. And number 4 is looking good. Number 1 looks super. Number 1, 2, damn. Who the hell was number 3? Oh, I don't remember. But you gotta love them anyway. They cut some people. Down to 85 or something like that. Yeah, 85. Who are those guys? I don't know. But they're keeping the guys' names. They're going to keep the guys' track record. Lou, your turn.
Lou's gone.
Lou?
Jump around.
No, I'm not gone. I'm trying to set up my camera. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
Come on, Lou.
All right, Jeff. Then, well,
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Go ahead, Lou. Talk about that blitz squad that we got going from New York Giants this year.
You already know. You already know. You already know. Give me 1 second. Damn Twitter acting retarded.
NYG,
Yo,
let's kick it off. What do you think about the defense coming into this year so far? What do you gets you excited about this defense?
of course it's the defensive line. When you're looking at Leo Williams, and that's the key. You know, I know the hype's around KT and Ojulari, but you got to look at Leo Williams because he's already been beasted. You know what I'm saying? He had a little bit of a down year last year, but so did the whole team. You know what I mean? But I think he's going to bounce back when you got 2 speed rushers. That's the key, speed rushers. You know what I'm saying? You got 2 speed rushers on the edge. That interior is going to get pressure. You know, so I'm now with the linebacking core. I'm a little skeptical because you got Blake Martinez. He's coming off an injury. We don't know what we're going to get from Blake Martinez. Nobody knows. And I'm not banking on him being the same player he was for us before. So I think there are going to be some issues there. I think there are going to be some issues in the secondary. That's been much talked about. We don't need to elaborate too much on that, but the defensive line is going to be the strength of the Giants. My take was the defensive line and the offensive line. In due time, give it about mid-season, those are going to be the strengths of the New York Giants this season. And I'll pass the mic on that.
And I'm gonna take off what you were just saying before. I think the defensive line is going to be the reason why this New York Giants defense could be a top-level defense in the league because Miz, I'm going to give you credit because you've been saying it the entire time, talking about Leo Williams. He's going to have a beast year, and even Dexter Lawrence, because of those 2 guys you have on the outside and the fact that Kayvon Thibodeau and Azeez Ojulari, when they're on the field, they're going to be commanding a lot of that attention from the outside, and it's going to be able to have a guy like Leonard Williams be able to take advantage of those one-on-ones because last year, we all know, the reason why Leo didn't have the protection he had is because he was getting doubled and triple teamed a lot from the offensive lines going forward. And now when you got 2 guys on the outside that are going to be commanding the attention, Leo's going to be able to take advantage of those one-on-ones. And everybody forgets Dexter Lawrence had the highest amount of pressures last year with his season. So he's going to be another guy that's going to be able to benefit from some of those one-on-ones. In terms of the linebacking core, I do like some of the upside we did see from Darian Beavers in that first preseason game. But we all know as a rookie, he's going to go through some struggles in the beginning of the season and have to see how he's going to be able to do it in terms of coverage, you know, covering some of the tight ends or some of the running backs that leak out from the backfield. So I think the linebacking core could be a little bit of an issue, but I think as the season goes along, we might be able to see guys like Micah McFadden and Darian Beavers, as well as Blake Martinez when he starts getting a little bit more acclimated to the game after coming off this serious injury. Maybe he gets a little bit more towards himself. And the secondary, I think what's going to help out, you know, the secondary a little bit is that defensive line and them be able to maybe put their hands up, tip balls, and you have a ball hog like Xavier McKinney that's going to be able to take advantage of that. I think McKinney is going to be ready to take his ascension as one of the top safeties in the league. In terms of the cornerbacks, I think Adoree Jackson will be okay. Aaron Robinson, yeah, we did it all. Some of us have to be honest, we didn't love what we saw from him on the field, but we have to realize the guy is coming off only playing half the season last year, not being healthy. So we have to give him a chance to see what he can do. Have it going pretty much into his rookie season in a way because he only played half a season. He's going to have to work on some of his technique in terms of his coverage going into the season. The depth I'm a little bit scared about because we saw some of these guys out there. They're not proven in terms of the safeties. They're relying on a lot of young guys and unproven players behind that. But I think if the defense is going to be anything this year, I think it's a lot going to have to do with that pass rushing going forward and that front four specifically. And the depth is actually not that bad, too, when you think of guys like Ellerson Smith, Quincy Roche, even a guy like Timon Fox, and even Justin Ellis and Chris Hinton, the undrafted rookie from Michigan. So I think the defense has some potential, but we got to see how they're going to look going forward, and especially with the linebacking core and the secondary being issues. But the pass rush is what gives us some excitement. Now I pass the mic over to Miz and hear what he's got to say about the defense.
I think the Giants can have over 50 sacks this year. What y'all think about that? Over 50 sacks for the Giants.
That's a fact.
That's
Easily.
crazy at all.
Hands down.
It's crazy at all.
Now can I answer the question? Because I had technical difficulties.
Yeah.
So we
Well,
back
hold
now.
on. Shout out to Pandemonium for the $2 super chat. You guys see OC out there coaching up KT? Yes, we did. Go ahead, Lou.
That's right. You saw OC out there coaching up KT. You see Strahan mentoring these guys. You see these guys reaching back and pulling and drawing off the energy of their ancestors. God bless the dead. Man, the Giants are a totally different team. Revitalized, re-energized. Defensive line is rebuilt. Offensive line have suffered a few setbacks, but I believe that we have the right staff and guys in the front office to pull it together and replenish this offensive line. I have full confidence in Joe Shane, Brian Dable, Wink Martindale, and even in Morrow right now, because he has stepped back and let the guys that he's hired do their fucking job. And I expect these guys to continue to do their job and do it well. Our defensive front is monstrous. Blitz squad. They're going to play get his ass all season long. They're going to quarterbacks up, and not in a good way that makes them moan, in a bad way that makes them cry. And I, for one, can't wait. DJ, who everybody is 50-50 on, the whole fan base is divided about, has the potential to make great plays. Has he been great? No. Can he be? I believe so. So right now the question is really, is this offensive line going to hold up enough for us to get a full evaluation of DJ? And are they going to play well enough for us to succeed? Because at the end of the day, if the offensive line plays decent, I believe Daniel Jones can get us to the playoffs. If they play good, I believe we can win some playoff games. And that's just my take on it. But defensively, I don't think there's a team in the league that can stop us once we gel and find our chemistry defensively.
Yep.
The NFL is in trouble.
Okay. Miz, have you answered the question?
No. About the defense,
Tell them,
I think that the Giants have a strong. I'll go front seven, even though the linebackers have to prove something outside of Martinez. I believe. Well, the day we drafted Beaver, I was real happy about it. I believe Beaver's going to be here a long time. He has that physical mentality that you need for linebacker that we haven't had in a while outside of Martinez. And I think the Giants front four could be one of the best in the league. I mean, I already said it. Leo's going to have a Pro Bowl year. You can put him in a Pro Bowl. I mean, he's going to have that type of year. He's been having big years. But I believe because of Kayvon, and Kayvon won't have the number of sacks that everybody dreams of right away, but his impact will allow the other guys to get big numbers. And I think Leo is going to be the guy that has a big season all around. I've always been a fan of Dexter, and I think Trayvon just stuffing the plays in the middle, especially the run game. And the secondary, I think the secondary, it may not be the greatest, even though you have McKinney. I'm high on Love. I think Love is a really nice all-around player. And Dorian Robinson. Robinson's a kid. Darnay Holmes is still young, so I would let these guys play and develop. It's a growing year. It's not a Super Bowl team. It's not like that. It's a growing year that could step into big things this year. But a big thing about the Giants' defense being one of the best in football this year, believe it or not, it's going to come down to the offense also, because if the Giants' D is going to be on the field all year like last year, you're going to see guys go down. The defense is going to get tired, and I saw a lot of that last year. So you got to move
too much,
and you got to sustain some drives. And if you could get time of possession on offense, even if you don't put the ball in the end zone all the time, but you could drive the ball down the field and get time of possession, that helps the defense stay fresh all year.
Yep.
And we need some of that.
Yeah, because if you keep them on the field like we did last year, boy, we're in for a shit show.
We're going to get toe up again. NYG, what you got for me, brother?
Oh, no, I already answered the question. You could go to Adam.
I was having technical difficulties.
Okay.
Yeah.
Adam, what's going on?
Well, I'm excited because of the defensive coordinator they brought in. He's changing the mindset of the entire defense that we had. Usually we played zone and we were a little soft around the edges. I think we're going to be a dogs out there. I think Wink Martindale brings the mindset and philosophy to beat the other team up. For the first time, for the first time in a long time, it won't be because the Giants' defense is soft. It'll be because the Giant defense gave up big plays. And they're going to give up big plays, and you're going to have to live with that because that's how Wink Martindale does it. He doesn't care that he has nobody back there. As long as you got an NY on your helmet, he's going to bring the blitz. And for the first time in a long time, I finally feel excited and reinvigorated as a guy who loves defense because there's guys who could be budding stars in the team. We got one in the backfield in McKinney. Okay, that guy is an absolute superstar stud. You know, hate Gettleman all you want, but he found a gem in this kid. Okay, I like what Darian Beavers is going to do. I wouldn't be surprised if he's a starter come day one over Tay Crowder because Tay Crowder cannot fill the holes, like Darren Beavers can. So I think Darren Beavers will bring that physicality that's missed, that we're missing. And I think the defensive line, I agree with Miz here. Leo Williams is the most underrated defensive tackle, I believe, in the NFL. He does not get the respect that he deserves. Okay, the guy was on top 100 players for a reason. Okay, I think there's only 5 defensive tackles in the league better than him. Okay.
He's probably the only Giant on there. What y'all think?
Yeah.
Probably,
On the top 100.
probably. But there's Aaron Donald, there's DeForest Buckner, there's Geno Atkins. There's one more, and then Chris Jones, and then there's Leonard Williams. Okay, so you've got 4 or 5 guys better than him in the entire league, and most of those guys, you know, only are recognized because of sacks. You know, Leo has one of the highest pressure rates in the entire NFL. Yeah. Higher pressure rates. But nobody wants to talk about that. He's the most disruptive defensive tackle in the game. But because we hate the job, because the media hates the job.
Jets days, he was.
Yes.
He was doing the same thing with the Jets.
Even on the Jets.
It's not only that, Adam, and that's a great point. But media doesn't want to give him his props because he was a Dave Gettleman pick as well.
Yes.
Listen, as much as Dave Gettleman fucked this team up with some of his drafting,
he gave us some gems.
He did find some damn good players as well. You can't negate Saquon Barkley. You can't negate Leo Williams. You can't negate Andrew Thomas, Xavier McKinney, Darius Williams. You know, there was some guys that this guy brought into this establishment that can be future ballers, Ring of Honor type players.
And you can't forget about the Hall of Famer O'Shane Zimenez. I mean, he's still on the team too, so you can't forget about
Ojulari either, can you? Ojulari was here because of him too.
Damn, check out Pandemonium, constantly donating.
The few times
going on, Pandemonium. Thank you for the $5 super
you had to go ruin it and say, "Oh, shame, shitmaness." God Almighty!
I had to lighten the mood. But hey, fellas, thank you so much for having me on the show. Always appreciate you guys letting me have a few minutes to talk Giant football. Big Pat, thank you so much. Joel, Lou, you guys are great. Jeffy, well, I'll see you around on. I'm sure we're gonna do some show tomorrow, probably. You know, our 10 a.m. shows. Miz, yeah, I'll see you in the text message, Miz. You just never stop texting a motherfucker.
While you're on that subject, stay tuned for Jeffy's Peep Show on YouTube.
That's right. Make sure you get ready for that. It's coming out soon.
Shout out to Pandemonium with the $5 super chat. Lou,
all right, guys.
Have a good night,
Adam.
Adam.
Have a good one, Adam. Be blessed, bro. He says, Lou, and let us know, grow weary of doing good, for in due season we will weep if we do not give up. 11-6. Yeah?
Hell
That's
yeah.
the moniker. That's the moniker, 11-6. But I'm gonna give my little 2 cents on the subject matter. This year, this defense will be very good, but I will say this: they're gonna have to grow up, and they're gonna have to grow up fast.
Yes.
Yeah.
For reasons why, because Wink Martindale doesn't give a damn who's on that field. He's gonna call his defense the way he calls his defense.
Man, he don't
Better
even
be
care
ready.
he don't even care who's on the other side of the field.
Right. So I always say these DBs are going to have to grow up very fast. I think Adoree Jackson is going to hold his own. I think Adoree Jackson, with that speed that he has, he can cover for that short amount of time. But Aaron Robinson, the Darnay Holmes, the Cordell Flotts, the Rodarius Williams, those guys are going to have to grow up. Then they're going to have to grow up fast, because if they don't, they will be embarrassed this year, because I think Wink is sending the heat at least 60% of the time on defense this year. That's just my opinion on Wink sending the blitzes.
Shit, I would say 75. I would dare say 75. Go ahead, MG, my bad.
Nah, you good. I was gonna say, if you look at the interview that Wink did on the Giants network, he mentioned Rome, and that's Jerome Henderson. He said Rome's got to get these guys ready. So that you know what I'm saying? Jerome Henderson is kind of the key to this secondary. If he can coach these guys up like he did last year, you remember the last season, the Giants had a lot of injuries in the back end of the season. So Jerome Henderson, pause here. So Jerome Henderson had them coached up. You know what I'm saying? He had them coached up, and they the kid Williams, and I think they let him go. They converted him to a safety, but he was
Jared Williams.
Well. Yeah,
Remember, he was playing well too.
James Bradbury had his best career season under Jerome Henderson.
That's facts.
Adoree Jackson. You know what I'm saying? He's turning Xavier McKinney into a Pro Bowler. So the guy can coach. You know, don't sleep on position coaches, because they do matter in the NFL.
Oh yeah,
especially when you got young talent.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, because a lot of these young guys don't know what type of positions to put their girls in. That's why they be cheating on them left and right and becoming lesbos. You need a good positions coach. Usually your father's supposed to teach you that stuff, but you know, don't know what's going on in this world nowadays.
Oh man.
All right. On that note, I believe this team can be very good on defense, but those DBs are definitely going to have to grow up. And Jerome Henderson, I believe, is definitely top 3 DB coaches in the league. You're not going to find too many better than
Pat,
Jerome Henderson.
On a serious note, I ain't mean to interrupt you, but shout out to Miz for looking like he on the sideline with a headset right now. I'm feeling that shirt.
Right.
It seems like you're getting ready to coach a game.
That's Coach Miz right there.
Get him a headset. Get him a play sheet.
Hold on.
Get that man a play sheet already. Let him call a defensive play.
Well, you gotta cover your lips when you're looking at it, so that Belichick's lip readers can't
right
play.
There we go. See, he's got the headset ready. He's ready to call out them plays for that.
Yeah, he
defense.
is.
Let's
We're
go.
on to Cincinnati.
Golladay deep 19-1 on 3.
Look at this
All
shit.
right.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, you gotta do a video like that, Miz, for real.
Right. But, I mean, let's talk about Wink Martindale for a second.
We're on to Cincinnati.
The reports, on to Cincinnati. That was a good comeback to that dumb question. But
Yeah.
the reports about Wink Martindale is the reason why he's the New York Giants defensive coordinator. It's because I believe him and John Harbaugh had a falling out. Is because they didn't want to pay him the way that he wanted to be paid. It's because that his defense fell from number 1, 2, or 3 to about 20 last year because of the injuries, and he didn't change his philosophy, even though they had injuries. So let's talk about that. Are you guys concerned that Wink Martindale won't change his ways, even though we all know that our DB backfield is not the greatest? I'm not going to say they're going to be sorry. I just think they have to learn. But would you be mad if he continues to put Aaron Robinson on the island, if he's getting beat in the beginning of the season and he continues to run his defense the way that he runs his defense, and we're not doing exceptionally well against the pass, even though I think our front seven will be top against the run very quick? I guess we'll start off with Lude and we'll go to Joel, and then we'll alternate.
I will not be mad at all, because as Miz said a little while ago, these guys are all young players.
Yep.
There's a learning curve. and you're gonna have to learn it either in training camp or in the fire. Most of the times, the biggest mistakes are the ones you learn the most from. So making those mistakes in preseason would be better for us rather than making the mistakes in the season. But I mean, with the amount of young guys we have and the fact that it's a new system, there's gonna be some plays that are busted coverages or straight up players get beat, and you want that to happen. I mean, it sucks. You know, you don't want it to happen often, but you want that to happen so that these guys can get acclimated, learn, and recognize what they're going up against, and then learn how to change those things on the fly in the game, so that when they happen in real speed, real time, in live game action, these guys are ready and they know to make the adjustments necessary.
All right, shout out to Tudo for the $4.99 super chat.
Wow,
you guys in the chat are going so fast; it's hard to keep up with you.
I know.
Shout out to NFL, man. He was the guy that told Saquon Barkley that he may have to lose weight, and Saquon Barkley lost some weight this year. He hasn't said anything; he's been popping in and out. But I do remember you, bro. I read your private chat. I do remember you, and that you was
I'm here now.
He spelled NFL like somebody speaking in Spanish.
Good,
Yeah. He says, Big Boss Lou, I shared the motivational text you sent me yesterday with my entire defensive squad, and they all pumped up for our upcoming match, man. I hope you guys win, Tudo.
Good luck, Tudo.
Yeah,
hope you guys
man.
pull out Sunday.
Diela has a answer to the question I just asked. He said he doesn't think that Wink Martindale would change anything. He says he's set in his ways. And I don't think that's a bad thing, Diela, but I mean, you'll probably make a video explaining that, how you feel about that. Or if you ever want to come on, just let me know. But Lou, were you finished, or we're going to go with Joe?
No, go ahead, continue.
No, dude, Joe, he said that took words right out of my mouth. He did. I
gotta say, I got like a man crush on Wing. I think he's going to bring some attitude back on this defense.
Yeah.
What? Who just said they had a man crush on what?
I think NFL's got a man crush on Wing.
Yeah, he's going to bring some attitude back.
Yeah, I think he's already brought the attitude back to this defense. Diela, he says you can learn it all you want, but if you don't have the size, speed, and overall ability, you aren't hanging with the best in this league has to offer at the receiver position. But I will rebuttal that, Diela, my bad, Diela. I don't know why I keep saying Diela, but Diela. If that defense is getting back there and you have to throw that ball within 2 seconds, you only have to cover for so much. It's not like they could go super deep on you if you're continuously getting pressure like that. So we will see. But that is correct. If you don't have the skills, you're just not gonna get it done. If you ain't got the skills to pay the bills, you're not gonna get it done. Point blank, simple. But that pressure
Gators down.
Right. But that pressure helps out a defense a lot. The pressure that the Cincinnati Bengals were getting had Eli Apple talking shit. Think about that. Eli Apple can't cover nobody. But they were getting so much pressure on these teams that he was actually able to look half decent. But Miz, what do you think about the question, if you remember the question?
I do wish he could cover his damn mouth, though. Punk ass piece of shit.
I don't remember the question.
Who?
If Wink Martindale, like I said, you know that Wink Martindale is our coordinator because of the reports that him and John Harbaugh.
Yeah, I agree with Lou. I'd rather the kids play, even if they messed up, keep playing them. And that's how they're going to learn and grow because, like we said, man, there are a lot of kids on this team, you know. It's not like you have a team where you feel you're winning a championship this year. It's a growing year. So you leave the kids on the field. I want the young kids to play.
Yeah.
What you
I
think,
think
Jack?
it's going to be the type of defense where, like, it'll be like incomplete, sack, and then a 50-yard pass where we can get burned.
It could be like that. It could be like that, NFL. I'm dead serious. It could be like that. But, Jeff, what you think, brother?
I mean, I don't think that Wink, after he's been coaching defense for as long as he has, he's not going to change up his defense at all. He's going to try to keep going with what he knows best, his bread and butter. And in terms, I mean, I could see a lot of teams try to get the ball out as quick as possible to negate that pass rush, and don't be surprised if they're targeting the middle of the field where we might be the weakest when it comes to the linebacking core. How much we've struggled over the years covering tight ends. Don't be surprised that tight ends are one of those places that the opposing offense is going to go after a lot if they can get the ball out quick enough past our pass rush. And I agree with what Lou and Miz have said. You got to let these kids go out there and learn. You got to let these kids learn. You can't just throw out these veterans out there just because you want to have a quick fix. These guys have got to go out there and they got to learn eventually in the NFL how to play coverage in this Wink Martindale type system. And I'd rather see an Aaron Robinson, a Darnay Holmes, a Darius Williams, a Cordell Flott, and these young guys be able to learn on the fly because it might be a little bit clunky at the beginning. They're going to be missed assignments. There's going to be blown plays. You're going to see big plays going on at the beginning of the season. But don't be surprised with Jerome Henderson as the cornerbacks coach that he's eventually going to get these guys a little more acclimated to the system. They're going to start playing a little bit better as they keep going on during the season and learn the defensive system going forward. So let these kids learn on the fly, and I think the pass rush will help out the secondary a lot, but I could see the opposing offenses at the beginning of the season attacking the middle of the field, where around see if those linebackers can cover the tight ends or the running backs that slip out from the backfield.
All right, shout out to Pandemonium with another $5 super chat. He says, everybody complain about the offensive practice. Let's not forget iron sharpens iron. That is true.
That shit in my last video about the damn. Well, you all right with me, Pandemonium?
Yeah. That J-Lay, what you got for me, J-Lay?
Well, piggyback over what Pandemonium said, iron sharpens iron. So no, I don't think that he's gonna
Solomon said that, sir. We're not gonna let Pandemonium take credit for
okay.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Solomon originally said. Yeah, but anyways, yeah, I think that I put their ass on the fire, man. I don't think that he's gonna do anything to jeopardize a game. But if a player's getting beat and he keeps on getting beat, he's not gonna take him out and let him, have it easy. He might send some other pressure from other places to, kind of help out or send some help over a little bit. But he's going to keep them out there, and he's going to make these kids learn, man. I mean, like you said, iron sharpens iron. So, I mean, let it happen. It's a process here. Remember that. 11-6.
Hell yeah.
Oh my God.
Hey, he said that's so smooth.
He did. That was a nice little touch on that.
Right.
Yeah, I'll throw out one last thing on that. So I think the worst thing that we can do is that if we get Robinson or whoever that gets burned, and we sit them, I think you sway them. I think you're gonna kill their confidence level. It's like you gotta let them sit out there. If they get burned, hey, don't let it happen again. Go out there and play. I think when you start getting people, you're gonna see confidence levels going down.
Hey, let me give a shout out real quick. Shout out to Kevin Sullivan. I haven't seen you in a minute, bro. If you have been on here, my apologies. Shout out to Kevin, man. Thank you for tuning in. Hope all is well with you, bro.
Yeah.
NYG, you still here, bro?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah. What you got for me?
Man, I think Wink, his coaching philosophy is so refreshing to the New York Giants. It kind of reminds me of the Spagnuolo days in a way.
Yeah.
Because he just gonna let them go out there and play ball.
That's how it's supposed to be played.
You know what I'm saying? You're not pulling players because they make a mistake and over critiquing them. Nah, just go play, bro. Just go play. You know what I'm saying? If you mess up, all right, cool. Yeah, I'm going to pull you to the side. I'm going to let you know what you did wrong. But if you out there and you gaining confidence, and that's what we keep talking about is confidence with this Giants team. And so if you allowed to gain confidence, then I think Wink's going to let them play. I think he's going to let them go out there, gain confidence. They're a young team. They need to go and gain confidence in order to reach the level that they're trying to get to. You're not going to do that on the bench.
That's true. I'm going to say this about that whole situation. I wouldn't give a damn if every corner out there on that outside was getting burnt. that just lets us know exactly what we need to work on getting the very next year. Shape up or ship out. That's what's gonna happen. That's the attitude that they need to have with anybody going into this season. Either you're gonna show up or we're gonna ship you out. We're gonna get some people in here that's gonna do exactly what we need them to do.
Well, I don't know. We have to go back and look at the tape and you know, before I say anything on that right there.
Better not hear that. Better not hear that. Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna hear that because everybody has to go to the tape and look and see exactly what happens, but it's the energy behind
everything, son.
Yeah, it's the
energy
energy
behind it, though. They're being real careful with the media, so they're not going to trip up. You know what I'm saying? They're not trying to trip up with the media and put certain players or put themselves on blast. So you got to be careful with what you're saying. You can't give up too much.
That's true too.
New York is tricky.
Good point.
It's tricky. It's tricky being here. You know what I'm saying? Not only do you have to perform, but you got to perform in front of the camera too. And a lot of players can't handle that.
Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, but I digress.
Hey, look.
Go ahead, John.
Deila, he says, I would like this defensive system next year, though, when we bring in a few better options in the secondary via free agency. We're going to put some of that money into the defense next year. I think they're going to put the money into a cornerback next year. I believe they're going to get another stud offensive lineman, whether a center or guard. Either way, either one, they feel they need to upgrade. They're going to get a offensive lineman next year as well, an interior offensive lineman. I know that for a fact.
Listen, if we draft the best center in next year's draft with Andrew Thomas and Evan Neal at tackle,
Yep.
we solidify this line for the next 6 to 8 years, bro.
Lou, I think they're going free agency for the offensive line because if we have to get a quarterback, we're going to have to give up a lot of capital to get that quarterback. We're probably only going to have like one pick in like the first 3 rounds.
And
Is it true that Ben Bredesen got hurt in practice today? I read that Bredesen got banged up today in practice.
Yeah, he hurt his elbow today in practice.
But what a lot of people are forgetting.
Good, bro.
What's up, AK?
What up, AK?
Good, guys. What's good? How y'all doing? Long time.
What a lot of people are forgetting though, that there's going to be over 1,000 players that are become available for the Giants to try to sign here in the next few weeks. Everybody's in preseason and everything before they make their cuts. Whenever they make their cuts in a few weeks, there's players that other teams can't have or don't want that still may be a fit for our system. So I mean, don't just think that what we got now and the people getting hurt is the last of it. We still have other players available here in the couple weeks.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking this. I was thinking that the Giants probably have a good 5-6 cornerbacks that they got their eyes on.
Your mic, NYG.
Hello?
I said something's going on with your mic.
That's NFL.
Oh, that's NFL. Okay, my bad.
Yeah, my bad. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. My thought is, I have a feeling that the Giants have a good 5 or 6 cornerbacks that they have their eye on, that they know they're probably on the bubble of being cut, where as soon as they're cut, that Darius Slayton is going to go bye-bye, and they're going to snag one of those corners that they have their eyes on.
Yep.
Yep, definitely agree with that.
Shout out to Big Dash Nose. Thank you for tuning in, Dash.
What up, Dash? How you doing, bro?
Channel, man. Go like and subscribe to Dash.
Let's do big things in the community.
Yeah,
Salute Dash, man. Salute Dash.
To answer his question, we can do it all night long.
Oh,
Right. I'm gonna be honest with
que
you guys.
pasa, mi amigo?
It depends on this next drive. I wouldn't be too excited about getting a bunch of players in this next draft if Daniel Jones doesn't perform, because we're going to have to give up some assets to get up in that first round to get the quarterback that they want. And that's just the honest truth. We're going to have to give up assets to get up there to get that quarterback, especially if this team does half decent, gets 6-7 wins, and we're not a top 10 pick. Or if we do that bag, we get a top 5 pick, then yeah, I think we'll keep our draft. But if we damn near make the playoffs with Daniel Jones and he's just not performing the way that they feel that a quarterback could perform in this system, we'll have to give up some draft picks, probably our first, second, and maybe a first the next year to go up to get one of those quarterbacks. And that's just part of the process. I'm quite sure those guys are going to do their due diligence if they have to do that, and know that that's the quarterback that they can roll with. Whether it's Will Levis or C.J. Stroud or the boy from Alabama, I always forget his name.
Bryce Young.
Yeah, Bryce Young. Van Dyke from Miami. There's a guy from BYU that's pretty good. Anthony Richardson from Florida is pretty good. He showed that he could throw. So I mean, it's about 5 quarterbacks that I believe that could be studs coming out in this next year. And hey,
what's the kid's name? What's the kid's name from Kentucky?
Will Levis.
Oh yeah, Robinson's teammate.
Yeah, Robinson's teammate. I think they're gonna do real good at free agency this upcoming year, though. Especially if they release Kenny Galloday and we still have around $100 million to work with. I believe if they have to get 2 interior offensive linemen, they'll get 2 interior offensive linemen.
Now, what is the cap hit on Kenny Golladay next season?
Next season, we save $7 million. If we save $7 million, if we cut Galloday next year, we save $7 million.
It's like a $14 million cap hit or something for next year with Golladay.
It's a $14 million dead cap, but you still save $7 million.
So they got to eat 14.
So can we cut that motherfucker on New Year's Day?
No.
So I was going to say too, do you think that we're going to see this wide receiver core get completely revamped next year? They're going to try to wipe it clean besides Wan'Dale Robinson and maybe Tony. They're going to pretty much just turn over that entire group and try to bring in some of their own guys.
I think they go wide receiver early again next year.
It could happen.
I can see it.
That's 2 first-round wide receivers.
Get a
Maybe
big
not even-
wide receiver that can go down the field.
Maybe the
I thought we
second.
save $19 million if we let Golladay go after this season.
Yeah.
But that's 19 out of 100, though.
No, I thought we saved $19 million if we let Golladay go after this season. Next year.
Yeah.
I'm
You
not
guys are
sure.
saying $7 million, but I heard $19 million.
So so my question is, can we cut that motherfucker on New Year's Day? Does that count as next season?
I heard he was actually good today. That he actually had a really good practice.
Oh,
It's
one
nice to hear
day
that.
in
No,
fucking
I know, right?
600
I mean,
days.
I know.
he's so reactionary.
I mean, he's not going to be here next year anyway. We know that. So
No.
big
I
deal.
think the
Let him-
That
whole wide
got
receiver
me-
core
Unless
is
he
gone.
turns it, hey, y'all.
If
Hey,
he has
how
a
many-
good season, he will be
How
here
many
next
balls? Now he's not this guy who I'm about to say, but how many balls did Jamar Chase drop and everybody thought he was going to be a bust?
True.
11.
That's true.
So, I
He
mean,
dropped
and
I told
11
you guys,
last
only
year.
judging
when
this
the
guy off.
season
I
came
think
on,
he
when
dropped
the
11
season came
last
on,
year.
he turned on. And when the
CeeDee
season
Lamb.
came on, he turned it on.
CeeDee Lamb drops
CeeDee
a ton
Lamb
of
as well.
balls.
Good point, Jeffy. CeeDee
Justin
Lamb as well.
Jefferson. A lot of these top
Yes.
receivers drop a lot of
Keep him
passes,
going.
but they go
Yep.
out there and they're difference makers on the field. Not everybody's like Devontae
Yeah.
Adams who
That's the
catches
thing.
everything.
Don't
I agree with
slaughter
you,
the horse
Pandemonium.
just yet. Don't
I
slaughter the
believe-
horse just yet.
I agree with you, Pandemonium. I believe that Mara and the Giants owners want Arch Manning.
Arch Manning's not coming out to 2026.
Yeah, man.
25.
Hey,
Not waiting until
2025 they
2026.
come out as junior year.
Look, read his super chat.
Arch Manning,
Yeah, no, he says, Pat, no matter what fans think, if DJ falls, we're not drafting QB till 2025. So that means we're going to have to suck for another 3 straight years.
No,
And we're going to have to have
Don't draft the
we're gonna have
QB.
to
They'll
have
be
the number
fired
one-
if they don't draft the QB.
That
If
doesn't
they don't
Right.
draft the QB, they'll be fired. There's no
and we'll
way
have to
they're
have the
gonna-
number 1 pick in 2025 because Arch Manning is going number 1.
Even if we go 11-6, 12-5,
we don't have to suck, you guys. We don't have to win only 3 games. We can win
yo, hey,
8 for
he
2
takes
years
you
in a
to-
row. You win 6
takes
games,
you-
7 games one year, and then like 8, 9 the next, and then you win and fall off. Maybe some people you have to trade or leave or don't want to be with the team. And
Bro,
you draft
if we don't get the number 1 pick, we're not getting Arch Manning
But then
unless
look,
we
then
give
you
up
that's
make a
a
easy.
first
trade.
round pick for 4
For sure.
years straight.
You're not getting him in no second round.
Hey,
You're not getting
I'm
him
doing-
on
I'm
pick
doing
6
the,
or none of
what's
that.
that?
He's number 1. Guaranteed.
Doctor Strange. I'm doing that Doctor Strange fucking multiverse shit. And
We really said the Doctor Strange thing.
we gonna
Yeah,
get.
you just
We're
looked
gonna
like
get
he was
Arch
having
Manning.
a seizure just now. What's
That's
he
what he
doing?
was doing in the thing, in Endgame. That's what he was doing. He was
No,
y'all,
listen,
can get,
listen.
y'all can get that Arch Manning business out y'all head. He's not going to be a Giant unless we take a major add.
Bro, that's
Go
not
ahead, man. Hold on.
I'm worrying about 3 years from now, man. Because if we're not in the playoffs in the next 3 years, we got bigger problems than worrying about Archie Manning.
Right.
True.
I'm just saying,
Right.
that would be cool though. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but you can't plan a draft 3 years. From We're drafting a QB next year.
Who knows if Arch Manning's even going to be good in 3 years? Maybe he gets hurt. Maybe he's not performing. We don't know what the kid even is. He's just because he's related to the Mannings doesn't mean he's going to be good.
If we don't fix this team now, we're gonna be worried about Archie Bunker.
Exactly. Get him an offensive line. Get some playmakers. Get some defense over here. Let's not worry about Arch Manning.
How do y'all feel?
Win.
How do y'all feel about the offensive line? You know, because I think this offensive line is going to be a dominant unit from the run blocking standpoint.
Yes.
When y'all look at the film on the offensive line, they get movement off the jump. Like when the ball is, as soon as the ball snap, bomb, they push him back on the run plays. You gotta watch him.
Check out NYG's video if you haven't already. He put a video about their run blocking. He's absolutely right. These guys definitely look like they're going to be very strong in terms of the run game. The pass blocking, it might take some time. And the depth, we have to worry about a little bit because we really don't have any proven guys beyond our starters. But in terms of the run blocking, I think that's where this offensive line is going to have their strength. And the pass blocking will come around if these guys can all stay healthy and come together as a unit.
Well, if you have a run game, which it looks like they will, then you know what? The passing, they may not be the greatest, but what you have is a fake play action. You have play action, which buys QB another second or so. So, you know, we'll have to use that. You know, we might finally have a real play action if we have a run game.
That's what they've been trying to do with Jones from the jump is the play action game.
How do you mute this fucking thing?
I don't know. Is there a mute button?
Nah, yo, I don't like
people overreact to Camp, man. Oh, Evan Neal is struggling. He can't block. Listen, Evan Neal is going to be a Hall of Famer. You can remember I told you this 15 years from now.
Yeah.
Andrew Thomas too?
He just has to work on his lower body strength and his core strength to be able to handle his top heaviness. Once he can get that strong base and that anchor down, and he's squatting like fucking 700 pounds, 800 pounds, then he'll be good. Once he gets his technique right and he learns not to lean forward over stuff, which is hard. He's 6'9", bro. He's 6'9". That's a lot. That's a lot.
Watch Andrew Thomas. Watch Andrew Thomas and how he's blocking his technique from where he was his first year.
Right,
Thomas is going to be a beast this year. Do not be surprised if Andrew Thomas is talked about as one of the top left tackles in the NFL by season's end.
You see them two big rhinos going head to head.
All right, hold on a second, fellas. I'm gonna answer this question for Kevin Sullivan real quick. And Tudo with the $9.99 super chat.
Oh, damn.
He says we believe New York Giants has a decent roster with great prospects. All they need is schemes, consultant with competent coaches and trainers to execute them using the same roster. Exactly. Kevin Sullivan, this is a pretty good question. He says, what do you guys think of Richie James? I like to do. Time for Boyd, Seals, and Bachman to go. I like Richie James. I like Richie James on this team. I think he can fill the role when Tony or Wan'Dale Robinson or Shepard needs a rest in the slot. I believe he's a very good slot receiver, and he's very dangerous in the red zone for some reason. Like, he has a knack for getting in the end zone when he gets into the red zone. So you might see him in the red zone a little bit. And I think he can take over the kick return, punt return duties for C.J. Boyd. I really think he can.
I think Richie James made Sterling Shepard expendable.
I think Sterling Shepard will be expendable next year.
Yeah, I think Shep's going to be on pup this year.
And by the way,
put a pup, and that's going to open up a roster spot for Richie James, Colin Johnson, and
I got one more spot, Dash.
Go ahead.
But
I was going to say, and if James,
hold on, go ahead, Miz.
I think Richie James is going to be fun to watch. I can't wait to see this kid on the field. And I agree. I think should become.
What I'm saying is, if James is going to play to give Shepard a rest, then James is going to be playing all year. So
I think he's going to be the primary kick returner and punt returner. Miz, that was funny.
Hey, we got a special guest on the show tonight. What's going on, Mr.
What up,
Dash?
Dash? How you
Yo,
doing,
what's
brother?
that? Yo, hold on. What's that damn comedian that played that was with The Rock, and they played? You remember the movie with Kevin Hart's first movie, and they was robbing people. They was doing a B&E. You
talk
look
about
just
Paper
like,
Soldier? Paper
yeah,
Soldier?
you look just like the dude that got pissed off with Kevin.
How you gonna roast the man as soon as he come on the
No, that ain't no rose. He look just like the dude. Man, look up Paper Soldiers and look at the ringleader of the B&E game. That's him.
They came
But go
out.
ahead, Dad.
Now, what's
Go
good,
ahead,
fellas?
Dan.
I just want to hop in real quick, man. You know, show some love and things like that. I see you guys. I missed the beginning of the show, but I see y'all talking about Ricky James a little bit. And
Yeah, what you think about him? What you think about him? Let us know.
he absolutely makes Sterling Shepard expendable. Absolutely, 100,000%. Because we don't even know when Shepard's coming back. Man, he's on the sideline working. He looked pretty good, but you got to be ready physically and mentally. And he might be ready physically, but I don't know if he can cut like that. The man got salmon bones in my opinion.
Yeah, I think Shep.
Okay, so let me play the other side real quick because you guys are real quick to say that Shepard is expendable. First of all, we know Shepard is probably the main guy that has chemistry with Daniel Jones on this team. Now, that only has a little bit of a problem if you feel that Daniel Jones can be on this team. If you don't feel about Daniel Jones being on this team, you wouldn't give a shit. But I think that Shepard is the leader that this team needs on the offensive side of the ball. I believe these guys, I think this organization loves Shepard, period. I think Shepard will be a receivers coach for the Giants when his career is over, to be honest with you. And you got to admit, when the dude is on the field, he produces. Like, when he was on the field, he was the only one catching passes and things from Daniel Jones in the beginning of the season. Like, he was the only one that showed up against the Broncos, and he was one of the only ones
cooking that game too.
Yeah, he was one of the only ones showing up against the Commanders at the time.
As
He's
blocking
the
is
most
supreme.
dependable receiver we have when he's healthy.
Yeah,
But
so, I wouldn't be so fast to try to get rid of Shepard.
But
One
that's the
person at a
thing, though.
time, people. One person at a time. We can't have
Sorry.
3 people talking over each other.
Yeah.
No, what I was going to say is that's the thing, though. You know, same thing with Saquon. You get as soon as they start to get a little bit of a stride, they get hurt, and then you know, it's back to the drawing board. That's my thing with him and Barkley.
So, if it came down to this, I'll ask everybody on the panel. If it came down to this, we have to put Shepard on a pup list in order to keep Richie James. Would you do it?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, definitely.
Yes, for 2 reasons.
That's what they're going to do.
Shepard is ready to go. Shepard is ready to go. But in order to keep Richie James, you put Shepard on the pup list and say we want you at 100%, not 94.
I say yes for 2 reasons. One, so that he can fully heal and come back strong. And 2, Richie James can get acclimated to the playbook, the system, and the players. That way, when we do phase Shepard out, if we do, you know, or we phase somebody else out, then Richie James and Shepard will be healthy. Richie James will know the playbook, and everything will be beautiful. Or
Now,
Shepard will be gone. Richie James will know the playbook, and everything will be beautiful.
Yeah.
So either way, I would say yes for both of those reasons.
What wide
Now,
receivers
the
do you have
public
making the roster,
weeks-
Pat?
Huh?
What wide receivers do you have making the roster? If Shep's going to be, even if he's healthy, ready to go, that you're going to put him on the pup and have Richie James on the roster? Like, who are the other guys you see making this roster?
We answered this question Tuesday. I
Well,
think
you
you were the
want-
one who asked it on Tuesday.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Jeff asked
Is
that
the
question on
pup
Tuesday.
is the pup list 8 weeks?
No, I think it's
That's only
6.
4. It's 4.
4 weeks,
It's
yeah.
4 weeks.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Then I would
That's
do
why
it.
I think he's going on pup, and they're going to open up that roster spot for these other guys to get in there. You know, Colin Johnson, Richie James, and Slayton. I know y'all hate him,
Okay.
but he's
Let's-
making the roster.
let's-
I'm gonna keep it funky.
He's making the roster.
I'm gonna get killed for this in the comment section and everywhere else because of the money. I would get rid of Golladay right now.
You
I
can't.
would get rid of. Hold on, let me finish. I would get rid of Golladay right now to let everybody in that locker room know that it don't matter how big your check is. If you ain't coming in here and giving 100% every practice, every day, every game, we don't fucking need you. That's one. Okay. And then I would get rid of Board, Sills, the other guy, I don't even remember his damn name. That's how damn worthless. Yeah,
Alex Bachman, yeah.
They'll be able to get a couple of the guys on those practice squad.
So G, how many wide receivers you got the Giants keeping? 6 or 7?
I would go with 7 just because we get injured so much with that messed up ass turf. So I would keep Colin Johnson. I would keep Richie James. I would keep Shepard, Slayton. What's that?
Robinson,
Tony. And Kadarius Toney for sure.
And so even if Pup's on the, even if Shep's on the Pup list, you don't keep Boyd. You don't think Boyd got a chance at all, right?
Well, he got a chance as a punt returner, but I don't see him making the guys actually playing offense. You know what I'm saying?
No, I feel the same way you do. I just am curious because, like, if you asked me a couple months ago, a month ago, I wasn't even thinking or looking at Colin Johnson. The man popped off the screen, man, and I like what he brought to the team. Looking at him at Jacksonville last year, and I thought, that's a good replacement for Kenny Golladay. Large catch radius, you know what I mean? He actually looks faster than Kenny Golladay.
He can actually create separation, right?
Yeah,
solid route runner too for his size.
He's a good route runner.
I thought he was a fucking rookie, undrafted. I didn't know who the fuck he was.
Yeah. Now he came from Jacksonville, but if it wasn't about the money, Golladay would be gone, man.
That's the thing I keep trying to tell everybody. Everybody keeps saying, "Oh, we got to cut Galloday." We lose $15 million if we cut Galloday. We have to have over $16 million in cap room to cut Kenny Galloday. So you can't cut him.
Players who be dropping these balls if it ain't about the money.
Yeah, but he's $21 million this year, and then another like 16 next year.
Yeah, but if you cut him, it's a $15 million cap hit. That means you lose $15 million if you cut him. So we would have to have over $15 million just in order to cut him. That's why he's not going anywhere. Not trade, or unless the trade happens like week 7, like
she can miss me with it.
I think you got to get creative if you want to get rid of Kenny Golladay, and you got to incentivize the team more or less. You got to give them probably a mid-round pick.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not giving somebody a pick to get rid of somebody. That doesn't make sense. I would just sit on.
It might be worth it though, Pat.
What do you mean?
Get him off the team because he does not like. I don't think he likes the quarterback, and he does not like the offense because it doesn't fit him.
Well, you suspend him you suspend him.
Detrimental.
Yeah, detrimental to the team, and you send him home if he's causing trouble in the locker room and stuff. Kind of detrimental to the team. You send him home like they did T.O. because they couldn't trade T.O. at the time because his contract was too high.
But then the media gonna eat that up.
But there's no proof for that.
There's no
proof of none of this shit. There's no proof for that.
Miz, what it was a hypothetical saying that if he does go into the season causing trouble for the receivers and everything, and he's being a dick to everybody, then
but it is evidence of that because he blew up last year in the Washington game. Y'all don't remember that?
I remember.
I think that was once again that was blown by a media.
Yeah, he didn't do anything.
Making an excuse for him though. He spazzed out.
Yeah, but he didn't do it again after that. NYG. Now he might have gave up, but he didn't do anything on the sidelines. Go ahead, man.
By the way, can you blame him? Did you see the offense we ran last year?
Right.
You know what I'm
The
saying?
offense was terrible.
You brought this guy here to be a big number one, and they don't even look at his direction most of the season. So
a lot of that had to do with coaching
because he ain't open.
They took him off the field in the red zone too, though. That's coaching.
Yeah, that's the stupidest stuff.
True.
I don't know what they was doing.
That's one of the places he should be on the field is in the red zone. You want to take advantage
of the main places big ass should be in the red zone.
I think because Jones struggles with that end zone phase, and that's what Golladay makes his money at.
Yeah.
They didn't use any of the big targets last year in the red zone. They didn't even use the tight end. Right. Rudolph.
They didn't, and it's not like they ran bubble screens in the red zone or something. They were doing regular. I don't understand what the hell they was doing.
Nah, you know what they did? They did that end around On
Oh God, yeah, they did. Yeah, they did.
Trick play. They did a lot of trick plays. That was weird.
lose yards.
Yeah, we didn't trick him and score a touchdown.
We're gonna do end rounds to Evan Ingram, not Tony or anybody else. We're gonna do end rounds to Evan Ingram of all people. And we saw that happen.
It was crazy.
I
They
think
kept doing the fake pass with Tony. They did that like 5 times.
Practice squad, Steven.
Tricks are for kids. Tricks are for kids, man. And we had a kitty O line. So.
Yeah. And then if it's first and goal and you're on the 3-yard line, you run the ball. You run the ball.
We couldn't do that last year, but a lot of people don't recognize that or fail to recognize that we had no push on the offensive line in the red zone, so we couldn't get. It took us 4 plays to get an inch against the Cowboys.
We actually went backwards on those plays.
That was
But
sad, man.
Pat, though, they would throw the ball on 1st and 2nd down and then run it on 3rd.
And with the Carolina Panthers, they run it like 4 times straight that first drive and got stopped all 4 times.
Yep.
That was
I think they went
a
backwards.
5-3 game at halftime. People like to point at that game too, like it wasn't 5-3 at halftime.
Go ahead, man.
Remember, I told you guys when we fired Garrett, it was going to get worse, and people were all hyped up about this Freddie clown. And you know what? It got much worse, dramatically worse.
I was guilty, Miz.
And I mean, a lot of us looking for anything to help us. I'm not gonna lie. I was looking for anything, but I knew that was not it.
I was guilty of
Is that the
believing
time
that.
when Daniel Jones got hurt too?
That's another thing I still question to today. I don't care about these pictures about his neck on Twitter. That's all nonsense.
No,
I believe they put Jones on the bench because the O-line was not an NFL product. And they said, well, we're going to go the rest of the year and we'll lose out and get a better pick. I believe that.
That's true.
That's possible.
Now, that's true because Jones was too tough for his own good.
Listen,
He would have kept trying to do that.
I believe that because up until Joe Judge came out and said what he said against Washington, he still had a job. So that was the plan moving forward. Preserve this kid, get a better O-line, and try again next year. But when he came out and said, this ain't a clown show, we ain't out here doing what they doing over there in Washington and this and that, that's when he lost his damn job. Because up until that point, Mara was going to roll with him again. So I think you're 100% correct on that one, Miz.
No, Lou. One thing about that. He lost his job when the Miz got on the Kim Jones radio show and demanded he loses his job. All right?
That's right, Miz. I remember hearing that.
2 weeks later, they were all fired. I'm joking.
Yeah, you had the clips on YouTube, Miz. I saw the clips on YouTube.
Listen, I just spoke for how we all felt the same way. It's not even a big deal. But it was almost like they were going to bring Judge back, and that was scary, to be honest.
I think if Merritt would have had his way, he would have.
Oh, absolutely. If Mara had his way, Joe Judge would have definitely been the coach in this year for this team.
They remade
That
the
was
song.
scary
They
thing.
remade the song. Here comes the judge. Here comes the judge.
Gotta
You know my problem with Judge
love
was?
the tape.
Hold on, fellas.
My problem with
NFL
Judge, when you look back at the 2 years of Judge, he really did not have his hands on any aspect of the team. Not offense, not defense. He was hoping other guys would run it for him and it would succeed, and he would just run around and scream at people.
1,000% that's the case.
That is true.
Hold on, guys. NFL, you got a question, bro?
Yeah, I was going to say, so between Richie Jones, Robinson, Tony, Shepard, do you think we're too much in love with that prototype size wide receiver?
No.
We don't really look outside of that. I mean, yeah, we got Golladay and Colin Johnson, but it just seems like every year it seems like we're always having an abundance of those 5'9" to 5'10" in the wide receiver.
I'll answer that for you, NFL. You got to realize that all those guys are not the same. I heard them. All those guys are not the same. Kadarius Toney has a way different skill set than what Robinson, Shep, and Richie James had. Kadarius Toney has the skill set to be an outside receiver, and he is 6 foot. So he's not as small as those guys, and he has the tools to be a number 1 receiver in this league if he puts it all together. and stays healthy. Wan'Dale Robinson is here because they want him to be the hybrid version of Cole Beasley. He is really here to replace Shepard. Once Shepard contract runs out after this year, I believe Shepard is gone. I believe he knows it, but they're loyal to him. They love him here.
To the stream in the background, you have to turn the volume down. I'm not trying to be funny. Just we're hearing the feedback through it.
As far as Richie James, he's the safety blanket for us. When one of those guys get hurt, we don't lose too much with Richie James. That's why he's here. If Shepard gets hurt and Wan'Dale Robinson has to go down for a game or two, Richie James could come in and fill that position very well. So I think there's a need for all those guys to be on this roster, to be honest with you. And they all have a role. They want to make this team a depth team. Not depth, but with depth. Like if I lose Wan'Dale Robinson, I don't lose too much because I could bring in Richie James. You see what I'm saying? If I lose Kadarius Toney, then it's a problem. But if I lose Kenny Galloday, I believe I gain with Colin Johnson. That's why I think Colin Johnson makes this roster. Same build, same type of receiver, but Colin Johnson is faster and he looks hungry. That's depth. That's what they preach. Why do you think we got so many edge rushers now? Why do you think we got Thibodeau, Ojulari, Ellison Smith, Roche, Tamon Fox, Zimenez, Ryan Anderson? Why do you think we got so many linebackers? Blake Martinez, Michael McFadden, Darren Beavers, Tate Crowder, Carter Coughlin, the guy that made the interception, Castillo. You got like 7 middle linebackers.
Yeah, Calitro.
Why do you think they got so many defensive tackles now? Oh, and I forgot about Jahad Warrior, who could play both.
Yep.
So they're building this team to have depth. And even though we are scared of the cornerbacks have depth. Look, Aaron Robinson, Darnay Holmes, Rodarius Williams, Julian Love could play corner. Dory Jackson. They signed the guy from the Bills after those other two guys fell off.
Cordell Flott, the rookie we drafted.
Yeah, Cordell Flott. Yeah, safety. Love, Corker, Adams, Thompson, Belton. You see what I'm saying? They got so many people that remember the game that we called last year, Joel and Joel and Lou, when I was saying that the Bills got to get his ass.
Yeah.
Pause. That's because they had a rotation alignment with the Bills that was so vicious that they were fresh. Every play they were fresh.
Yeah.
They had so many people coming at you, and that's what they're trying to do here. And Wink's system,
that's like the rotation with the NASCAR package. Remember that?
Right.
Exactly.
And Wink's system. So look how deadly that could be in Wink's system. You got somebody coming fresh on a blitz every freaking down. I could trust every person that I put on that field to go and do what Wink needs me to do. I could trust every receiver on my roster that if somebody gets hurt, somebody can come in and can do just as good or may even turn out to be better. That's what they're trying to build. And it's
just
a great
about
thing.
off that, Pat,
Hold
what
on
you
one
said
second,
about the
Jeff.
receiver. Okay.
Hold on 1 second. Shout out to Tudo again on another $4.99 super chat.
Damn,
He says Joe Judge wasn't so much of a real judge. He was more of an assistant bailiff in the hallways wasting taxpayers' money. Forget about it.
Forget about it.
Tudo, man.
Yeah, I put the link in the chat for Authentic. Like I said, he's busy. I'm glad he's looking, but if he wants to come on, he can come on.
Yeah, shout out to Lieutenant.
But go ahead, Jeff.
I mean, even with not even just the defensive ends, you saw that the Bills love rotating their wide receivers as well. They love trying to get those guys in the specific plays that they can get the best out of their skill sets. And especially a guy like Richie James, the guy can also play the outside receiver too, as he has the occasion to possibly take it deep. And if something ever happens to Darius Slayton, if he's still on this team, you have a guy like Richie James who can not only play in the slot, but he also has experience playing on the outside. So I agree. Like the wide receivers on this roster, they're all very diverse in terms of what they can do on the field. So, I mean, you could take advantage of all these different guys' skill sets. And, yeah, they might have the same type of stature, 5'10", 5'11", about a little bit under 200 pounds, but they all have different types of skill sets that are going to take advantage of this offense. So you need that in this offense going forward. And they're going to be rotating these guys in and out a lot to keep them fresh, much like with the defensive end. So they're going to bring over that Buffalo philosophy to what they have over here in New York, especially with their wide receivers and their defensive ends / outside linebackers going forward.
What did Ella just say, Pat?
He says, I have to see Colin Johnson doing against starters. He couldn't get on the field over D.D. Westbrook in Jacksonville. Actually, they didn't use him. Same thing they didn't do with us here last year, Joe Judge and them, because he actually played pretty well when he got in the game. Joe, you had something to say?
Yeah, past my bedtime. Woo! 20 minutes to 12. I got a scoop, fellas. Again, thanks for everything. Thanks for having me on. Peace out, Girl
Salute
Scout. Now come back and
Have a good one,
just
Joel.
move forward. See
All
ya.
right, Joe. Have a good one, Joe.
Hey, I was going to ask, did you guys notice? So I know this from last year because this used to piss me off so much last year. When the Giants would break the huddle, they would get to the line of scrimmage with like 10 seconds. So they had no time to like audible or anything like that. And then in this preseason game that I saw, they were getting to the line with like 20 seconds, which gives them time to look over the defense and everything. I mean, it was so nice to see that.
It was night and
Last
day.
year they didn't do motion.
Man,
Yeah,
no
at
more.
all.
Daniel Jones didn't have an audible play calling sheet on his wrist.
Nope.
No.
He's a professional athlete, a quarterback with no play. Linebackers have play calls. I don't
He didn't
know.
get the wristband till after Garrett was gone.
Yeah, like that's baffling. There's high school quarterbacks that have those. Pop Warner quarterbacks have those.
That time, 20 seconds on the clock, and they were already on the line, ready to go. That was so nice to see for a change.
The play you get, the play you get is just the play you get.
I'm gonna ask Dash on this too, but I'm gonna just say that I believe that we're gonna be a fast-paced offense to alter that offensive line not be able to pass protect, because if you could tire those guys out, if they don't have a good rotation of defensive linemen, you can't sub out if we don't sub out. So if we continuously getting on the line, hitting you like this, pause, you're not gonna be able to bring in fresh defensive linemen to become blitz the quarterback, and that's gonna hurt your defense, because we have so many people that we could just hand it off to Saquon Barkley. If you tired, if you don't do your job, Saquon Barkley gonna go off. So
That's the key.
I think they're gonna do that to offset the offensive line woes, especially in the beginning of the season. But I don't know what you guys think about that. That's just my
I absolutely.
opinion.
They've been
I agree with
practicing
that.
up tempo though. Yeah, they've been practicing.
I think
Go ahead, Dash.
that's the best thing for it, because another thing outside of just being fast to the ball, you want the ball out of Daniel Jones's hands as fast as possible too. So I mean, if I think I said it before, I think the offense will go through Saquon Barkley. First off, whether it's running game or the passing game. But then also what I'm thinking is, as far as targets go, I think we didn't see Wan'Dale Robinson do much in that first preseason game. But I think as far as targets go within the regular season, I think it's easier to get Wan'Dale the ball than it is to get Tony the ball, than it is to get Golladay the ball. So I think his targets are going to be up. But everything is going to be, I think they're going to work that short game first, and then then you're going to feed Golladay the scraps and let him get his plays off. That's what
I don't mean to cut you off, but you brought up a very good point. That's why I think Kenny Galloday is looking the way that he's looking. I believe that he was told that, no, sir, you're not the primary guy in this offense. I don't know what you're thinking.
Nope.
You don't have the speed and you don't have the separation. We will give you some back shoulder throws, and we will give you some slants that you could catch the ball and hopefully move the chains for us. But other than that, sir, hopefully we could get you a fade in the end zone here and there. And I think that pissed him off.
Yeah, that's what he sees.
I believe Kadarius Toney has been moved up to the number one receiver. That's why you see him smiling every time he gets a question about his
he do be cheesing.
He be cheesing that grill be shining every time they ask us something about the offense. Yeah, we gonna do
I'm
this.
number one. Yeah. You're number two now.
And Kenny Galladay, that's the only thing I can see. That's what got Kenny Galladay down like this, because he was brought over here to be the number one receiver. His very first year, he wasn't utilized, and then he gets a new regime. Because remember, he was hyped in the beginning of the season. Kenny Galloday was hyped in the beginning of the season. He was there OTAs. He was running well. And then when he saw the playbook, it's like, Mike, Brian, what's this? That's the playbook, Kenny.
And you're not number one.
I can't run these routes like this. We know. That's why Kadarius Toney's going to be the number one receiver, and Wan'Dale Robinson may get 80 touches this year. I'm just going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
They'll be number two.
But what about me?
I think so. I think Galladay's a third. I think he's the third.
I agree. I think if Shep comes
Well,
back,
after a few weeks, he might not even be
he's
third.
fourth.
Tell me if I'm lying, Authentic. I think that's exactly what happened to him. And he has no trade value because they made something be wrong with his hip. I don't know. But he has no trade value. NYG not making fun of him. He's saying that we had to give up a pick to get rid of him.
No, I'm not
I
doing that.
think that's the only way you're going to get rid of him.
You know what? Even I fell for it. We got hustled by this guy. Even I fell for it. I was excited to get him.
I don't think we were hustled by the guy. I just think that things happened and it didn't work out. You see what I'm saying? It's not like the guy doesn't want to play. I think that it just came out that Joe Judge and Jason Garrett didn't know how to use anybody last year. He came into this year excited. I got a new regime, new coach. Let's go ahead and get this anew. And then he saw the playbook and it was like, fuck.
Let me ask you a question.
Hold on, let me tell y'all what I think real quick. He's a hoe.
Now go ahead.
I mean, call it what you want.
I was gonna say, how many players do you think that year or that regime of Judge and Garrett and Gettleman ruined? Just in those 2 years, how many players you think they ruined? Because you could say Jones, you could say Barkley, you could say Slayton, Golladay. I mean, we can go on and on. How many players?
I believe they ruined 53. They ruined the 53-man roster. That's what they did.
Yep, they almost ruined McKinnon.
All of them.
They did, yeah. They
I
almost
mean,
did
Leo's
ruin
still
McKinney.
good though. Leo Williams still good. He made it through.
Look, Leo Williams is a veteran. So yeah, I mean, but he was ruined last year too. But he can shake back. He's a veteran. Dexter Lawrence, I think they ruined him a little bit too.
He should have been a nose tackle from jump.
Listen,
exactly. Played out of position.
I'm about to put it as plain as possible. Y'all remember Rocky 3?
Yeah.
Y'all remember when Mr. T beat the living shit out of Rocky in the beginning of the movie and took the belt? He took his fucking heart. This motherfucker had to go running on the beach with fucking Apollo and shit to get his swag back, get his heart back. You know what I'm saying? Joe Judge and Garrett and Gettleman beat the fuck out the Giants. They took their heart. They took everything. So what this new regime is doing now, they got the Giants running on the beach in some funny looking shorts. And by the end of this shit, we're going to be winning. Okay. Just know that. Just when we start playing Tennessee, all right, game 1, every Giants fan needs to start playing Eye of the Tiger at the same time during the opening kickoff, and watch we just go beat the shit out of them.
And what was Rocky's wife name in that movie? I forgot her damn name. Adrian. Yeah, Adrian was the person that got him back. When she got on his ass, on that beach.
You're a job, Rocky.
On Rocky 3, he didn't start doing anything until Adrian got on his ass and said, "What the hell are you scared of? If you scared, quit." And she got him back. She pulled him back in. So we need Adrian on this team right now because Joe Judge is under the number. Yeah, hopefully that's Wink.
Hopefully
but
that's
I truly believe that's what happened to Kenny Galloday, and it's kind of sad. I mean, it's kind of sad because he was brought over here. He thought he was going to be the number one receiver last year. He got paid the money. Yes, he got his bread. And they didn't utilize him at all. Like Dash said, they was taking him out in the red zone. I didn't understand that at all. And then the very next year, you think that it's finna turn over to a new leaf. Now I could be the number one receiver that brought me over here for. Oh, what's this? why is why is this all? This is crazy to me. Why am I running these type routes? Well, Kenny, that's not for you.
Well, that's hilarious, man. That's hilarious.
That's for Tony.
To be looking at the book like that and like, that's not me. That's hilarious. Yeah. I didn't think about it like that.
Now what am I do?
Why? That's not a person. That's not a person.
Big money.
What I see in Kenny Galloday, that's not a person that doesn't want to play anymore. That's a player that's been defeated, and that's a player that's disappointed and he's sad. And for some reason, go ahead, Nimmer.
Can I say something real quick? With
go ahead.
With Lou and NYG, I actually agree with them. We could just move Kenny Galladay's whole money over to another team, like trade him, like move the whole book.
Let me explain this one last time with Kenny Galloday. Let me explain this one last time with Kenny Galloday. I don't give a damn if you cut him or try to trade her out. You're losing $14.5 million no matter if you cut him or if you trade him. Mm-hmm. And the only way you can trade him is if the team agrees to pick up his yearly salary. No team in the league is picking up Kenny Galladay's salary.
Cleveland didn't do that for Odell.
Right.
No.
Makes sense.
And he had to pay most of Odell's salary that year.
Yep. I think I did like $40 million that year.
Yeah. We only have $7 million in cap room. So we have to find another $10 million just to get rid of Kenny Galloday. You sit his ass on the bench. He goes out there moping and sobbing. You sit his ass on the bench. You put in Colin Johnson, Seals, whoever you want to put in there, and you get rid of him next year. You take the dead money hit of the $14 million to save $7 million, and you use that to get you a number one receiver if there's one in free agency, or you draft one early. Obviously, you're not going to be able to draft one early if Daniel Jones doesn't pan out, and we still win like 7 to 8 games because of the defense. We're going to have to give up draft assets to get a number one quarterback. It's just what it is. Everybody's gonna complain at that point in time as well. Oh, why are we giving up so much to go get a quarterback? The whole time this year, we need a quarterback. We need a quarterback. We need a quarterback. Where they're gonna get you your quarterback? We're not gonna have a draft for the next 2 years. Sorry, it's just the way it goes. But we have over $100 million in cap room, so the lineman that we need, we can get in free agency because there's going to be plenty of linemen up in this upcoming free agency, and we may be able to sneak a good receiver in there. Or hopefully, Colin Johnson, who's only at $1 million, turns out to be a very good receiver, and we can roll with Wan'Dale Robinson, Colin Johnson, and Kadarius Toney, and Richie James to back them up. Who knows?
Maybe draft a receiver in like the mid rounds.
And shout out to NYG. I know you're going to say it. You said that last year. Yes, you did. And I told you, you were actually correct last year when you said it. It's going to happen. But none of the quarterbacks coming up this year were worth a first-round pick. I'm sorry. It's just the way it was.
Yep.
It's just the way it turned out. If there was a Joe Burrow or Justin Herbert.
He did say it.
Yeah. I eat that one. Like I told you, when I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I eat that one.
No, he said you was right.
No, you were right.
There wasn't a quarterback in this draft class that was worth it.
I mean about like the
right. You talking about the whole? You talking about the whole first round picks and things, and that's going to happen. I said it was going to happen because none of these quarterbacks coming out this year was worth a first round pick.
Y'all were right about
who are we going to take in the first? You want us to go out there with the quarterback with the Falcons?
Desmond Ridder.
So instead of Desmond Ridder, so would you rather give up Kayvon Thibodeau for Desmond Ridder?
No, that's
not at all. And when we
you
know what? That's what made me realize y'all was right. When we got Kayvon Thibodeau and Evan Neal, I'm like, oh, hell to the no.
I'm not giving up Thibodeau and Neal for none of those quarterbacks.
No.
Straight cheese.
But if there was a Justin Herbert or a Joe Burrow or whoever is a great quarterback right now, Patrick Mahomes in that draft, for sure he would have been a number 5 pick.
Fuck yeah.
No, they finally did it right, man. They're setting the foundation for what's probably going to be the next quarterback.
Yep.
Exactly. And you have yourselves now 2 stud offensive tackles, a pretty good right guard. You have your offensive line starting to get rebuilt, and you got 2 stud outside linebackers that you can build upon. You get the lines ready, so when you get your quarterback in there, he has something
This
to
is what I was
operate behind.
trying to say.
I
This is
would
what
have
I
gave
was
up
trying
block
to say
for Willis.
that I wanted them to do. Remember, with all the mock drafts I was doing, if we trade back, we get more draft capital. We set ourselves up for success. We build a foundation. And if Daniel Jones falls on his face, then you go and you get your guy next year and you bring him into a much better situation than you did DJ.
Yeah.
This is what I was saying for 2 years. If you go back and watch all my fucking videos,
let's go with that scenario.
Shit.
You trade back. We don't get Kayvon Thibodeau or we don't get Evan Neal. Are you willing to lose?
No. They did it. They did it good because if you remember in all my mock drafts, I wanted Kayvon Thibodeau, and I wanted us to get Kayvon Thibodeau, but I wanted offensive line. But at all the debates we had, we always ended up drafting Thibodeau and Ikwanu in our drafts.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Ikwanu was looking stiff too, though.
We ended up with Thibodeau and Neal, which all of us were happy on draft day with. I don't think any of us would give those guys back. So,
no. What was you about to say, Dash?
Go ahead, Dash, because I'm gonna have a hot take after Dash. Go ahead.
No, I just was agreeing when I was shaking my head. I was just agreeing.
Oh, okay. I got a hot take. I don't believe Dabo or Shane really want Daniel Jones here, to be honest with you.
I agree.
1,000%.
To be all honest with you, I believe it's just the player that they had to go with because nothing else was there.
Yep.
I think that was a condition of employment. That's what I believe.
So instead of them being a-holes towards them, I think we got a good coach and GM. They're just going to pump him up as best as they can to see what they could get out the kid. Yeah. But I really don't believe they really wanted Daniel Jones here, in all honesty. And they have that right because every new regime gets their quarterback. It just so happens that the draft that they came into, there was no real good quarterbacks in the draft that they felt that was that guy.
No.
Yeah. And both things can be true. They can still go behind Daniel Jones and say, be the best quarterback you could be. But in the backside, it can really be that they really didn't want him here, but there's nothing else.
Well, I agree with you 100% on that. I think they're just trying to make the best out of the cards they were dealt, which is what everybody does in life generally. But I mean,
right.
When you come in as a new GM and a new coach, you want to be able to pick your guys, and they weren't given that right. And they're trying to make the best of the situation. I agree with you. I think had they had the option of getting a better quarterback, they would have.
And I think, do you think Daniel Jones knows that? Do y'all think Daniel Jones knows that? Do you think?
I think he knows it. They didn't. I think he knows that, but I don't think he gives a damn.
Fuck yeah, he knows it.
Yeah, he knows it. I don't think Daniel Jones gives a damn.
He knows it. He don't even gotta listen to the media.
He knew right there. When they didn't pick up the 5th year, he knew. His agent,
His
agent told him.
Every time he goes shopping, one of us is telling you, fucking bum. I promise you. He lives in New York. He knows it.
But how can he perform?
You gotta have that I don't give a shit attitude.
Right.
I don't know if he has.
I've said this plenty of times in YG. That dude's a robot. Nothing's gonna shake that guy. Nothing you say anything about Daniel Jones is gonna shake him. That may not be good in YG, but that's not gonna hinder his performance because he knows that he's not their guy.
But sometimes you got to be able to elevate. A robot is programmed to do a task a specific way. Sometimes you got to deviate and elevate. And that's what Jones comes in, like we always talk about, with his instincts
and that's why we say if he doesn't shine this year, he's gone. That's it. That's fine.
He said he has instincts.
No, he doesn't. He's struggling with that. Yeah.
Okay. No, his instincts are not great.
Man, we not finna get back on Daniel Jones because we all know what it is. If he sucks, he's gone. If he doesn't shine, he's gone. Point blank. He's a robot. But yes, the answer what Diela said right here, hindsight is always 20/20, bro. Everybody passed on Tom Brady and he turned out to be the greatest of all time. So everybody's stupid for passing on him. I mean, you can say that about every draft class. Yeah, one of those guys may turn out to be great. but they didn't have the pedigree of those other guys coming out. So I can't take a chance with my number one pick. I just can't.
You could have got Willis.
You rather
in the
have
third
Kenny
round,
Pickett
though.
over Kayvon Thibodeau or Evan Neal, D'Ayla?
You could have got Willis in the third
No.
round.
I would have took Willis over Flott.
You would have took Willis over Flott?
Yeah, I think I would have too. Yeah, I gotta agree with him.
So if they draft Willis, you know Tyrod Taylor is probably not here. If they had plans on drafting Willis and knew that he would, because they have a very good draft strategy.
Tyrod and get rid of Davis Webb.
No, I mean, here's the thing. For me, a lot of times when I was mocking, I knew they weren't going to draft Malik Willis, but nobody expected Malik Willis to be all the way out there in the third.
I expected him to be in the third or fourth round that year in the draft.
You thought he was going to be third round?
Yeah.
Yeah, Pat did. I agree with him.
Y'all see, listen. I'm gonna say this here. And I'm not accusing you of this, Dash. I'm not accusing you of this, Dash. I don't just look at highlights. If you look at everybody's highlights, there's about 25 quarterbacks I could go in the first round this year coming up. If you just look at highlights.
Yeah, so
I looked at his film. And I seen when he played against very good teams at Ole Miss that he extremely struggled when it came to very good teams in college football.
That's one game
now,
that I watched.
That's not me saying that Malik Willis is going to be trash. That's not what I'm saying. I think he's in a perfect situation out there in Tennessee. He has no pressure on him, and he's backing up a quarterback that we all know can fall off in a heartbeat. Yeah, and he's getting good training out there with those coaches out there, and I think that's the best situation. I didn't want Willis here because of the whole Daniel Jones situation and the whole John Mayer situation when they saying that he could be a racist and everything.
Yeah.
If they planned on drafting Malik Willis, they probably would have took him in the second round. And Tyrod Taylor is not here. So if Daniel Jones struggles and they know Malik Willis is not ready to go into the game and they don't put Malik Willis in there, think of the firestorm that would have happened. Oh, you're not playing Malik Willis because he's a black quarterback. And then they will have to force Malik Willis in there. And then he goes in there and he plays like complete trash because he's not ready. Then guess what? Those same fans that were clamoring for him are going to be those same fans that destroy his career.
Yeah, no, my thing with Malik Willis was this. In that same Ole Miss game, to give it an example, he got beat up that game. That whole game, he was sacked like 7 times in the first half that game. But what I liked about Malik Willis was being able to make or create a play when the play broke down. And the intangibles. That's what I like so much about Malik Willis. That's why I said I would have took the fly on him in the third round, especially in the third round. But the highlights were good. But I like you said, Pat, I'm a game watcher too, and he was flawed. He did have some flaws mechanically, but he still got the ball where he can get it. But I agree with that though. I agree with that what you're saying because the pressure in New York City is something different.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Yep.
Yeah,
they would kill that kid. They would.
The pressure to play him, I think, would hurt his career because, like Pat said, the one game that Jones messes up, put Willis in.
Right.
And if he's not ready,
you see what they did to Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah, they said Tyrod Taylor's better, and he almost threw 3 interceptions in the game. But they saying Tyrod Taylor is better because he can move around the pocket better than what Daniel Jones is, and he moves a hell of a lot better than what Daniel Jones does. True, but he still almost threw 3 picks. You take their performances and switch them, man. Daniel Jones would have been put in the ringer.
I mean, it's
even if he did throw that touchdown to Richie James.
Quarterback in the NFL. It's a reason. You know what I'm saying?
I believe he's the ultimate professional.
Here's the thing. I mean,
I like Tyrod.
I like Tyrod too.
But I don't.
I like Tyrod for a long
he's
time.
Not starting.
So, Pat, I'm gonna ask you a question. If it was an open competition, you think Daniel Jones flat out beats out Tyrod Taylor?
No.
Me neither.
Neither do I.
Nope.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Because
same.
you want to know why? Because the media will absolutely destroy him. Any little thing Daniel Jones does is going to be blown up. You wouldn't have a choice but to put Tyrod Taylor in there. If they didn't put their feet down and say this is not an open competition, I think Daniel Jones loses out.
But just skill wise, I think Tyrod can run this system better than Daniel Jones because this system is predicated on off script plays. They got the receivers changing the routes. You know what I'm saying? The quarterback has to be able to, you know, be instinctive and be able to change the play on the fly and read the defense on the fly and you know what I'm saying, like Josh Allen.
And guess
do.
what?
So,
And guess what? That's why they brought Tyrod Taylor here.
right.
If Daniel Jones shows the ability that he can't do it within the first 4 to 5 to 6 weeks, he will be benched. I promise you, he will be benched.
Yeah.
He probably will only take 5 games. If we start out 0-4, he's done.
Yo, if he's playing bad and we go and we lose in Chicago week 4 or to Chicago in week 4, New York is gonna go crazy.
He's done. If we start out 0-3, he might be done.
That's what I've been saying though. If Daniel Jones goes out there and only wins and we lose 5 in a row, 4 in a row, Tyrod, the way he's been playing, they're putting Tyrod in there. They gave DJ his chance. I was saying
Now,
that
the bad
was
part.
preseason.
The bad part is if they put Tyrod Taylor in and he looks bad, then it's gonna really be.
No, because he's the bridge
Then we're
quarterback. We
messed
all
up.
know that we're getting our quarterback next year. We're another 3-14
Hey,
or
at
4
least we'll
13.
get a high pick.
Hey,
Yeah,
Pat,
we'll have a high pick.
Yeah, the future quarterback is not on this roster. I believe that really strongly.
Nah,
Right.
absolutely.
And that is true,
Absolutely.
Dealer. We are armchair GMs. If you want to be honest about it, yes, we are.
is true.
I'm not going to
That is
disagree
No,
with
I
you.
also feel it's more effective.
But with
I believe this. I feel it's more effective if we have to go from Jones in the regular season to Taylor than the other way around. I believe that.
I think it is.
And that
So I mean,
plays
I got a
into-
question for you. Since we brought up quarterbacks a little bit. We're not talking about them, but my opinion, I'm an Alabama fan, and Bryce Young, I'm not moved by Bryce Young.
Me either.
And then also C.J. Stroud, for me, I have mixed feelings because when I look at both of those quarterbacks, I think about who the hell they throwing to and the separation that these receivers get. And when you get into the NFL, those windows shrink, and they don't look the same. So to you guys, I mean, Pat, I see you said you think the same thing, but who's your quarterback next year? As far
To be
as
honest
just
with you,
college?
I think if I'm Brian
knows my
Dable and Shane, I believe they have a certain type that they like, and that certain type is going to be between the kid from Miami, Van Dyke, and Will Levis. I think they're going to choose between those two because that's exactly the type of guys that they like. Long, tall, paws, can move around in the pocket, big arms, and they have instincts. NYG always say, I'm never going to forget that in a quarterback now, but they have instincts. They do. They really do.
Yeah.
I think they're going to choose between those two guys, to be honest with you. And they like C.J. Stroud, too. They like C.J. Stroud. They were already talking to him. But if that Van Dyke kid or Will Levis throws up a big year this year, I think they shoot up draft board.
See, I don't like Van Dyke, man. Like a lot of people talk about Van Dyke. I watched him last year, and I don't see anything special. I
think he's like a mobile Joe Flacco to me.
Okay.
What y'all think about?
I can see that.
What y'all think about
I can see
Anthony Richardson?
Anthony Richardson is acquired taste, NYG.
Yeah.
Anthony Richardson, they're going to have to build a system for Anthony Richardson when he comes here.
Talk about raw talent.
But he does throw the ball a lot better than I thought. And I will say this, he could be very dangerous in a system like this here, but we will have to run the ball a whole lot more than we think as until he's ready. And we have to have good tight ends as well. Go ahead, Dash.
I'm saying, any of you guys got Cam Ward on your radar?
Cam Ward, that's the guy from
Washington State.
Washington State.
He just transferred.
I think he's like a Byron Leftwich to me.
Yeah, they're gonna have a couple of games that they're gonna show. But he's sneaky.
Yeah, he's
and
sneaky
he's
good.
fun to
There's a
watch.
guy from I forgot the guy's name from BYU, but he's a Russell Wilson type to me, and I think he's a Russell Wilson clone. I think somebody's gonna get a very good quarterback when they get that kid. I forgot his damn name, but he plays for
Yeah, I know you're talking
BYU,
about.
and
Yeah, I
I
know
think
you're
he's a
talking about.
Russell Wilson
It's,
clone.
I looked at
I
the
think
Florida quarterbacks early, and I can't really say right now. We got to go through the season, but already Pat
yep,
knows. I spoke to him, man. I'm big on Van Dyke, big time, and
another one.
the reason why I'm big on Van Dyke is if you watch him from the pocket, the way he commands the field and the way he's able to elevate the team, like to me, it looks like a leader. Like he demands the team around him to play
You
big
gonna
time.
make me watch the Van Dyke game, miss?
You got to watch
Yeah, I
him. You
mean,
got to see what he can do.
the kid is
And I like
talented,
CJ
man.
Stroud too. I like Stroud a lot, but Van Dyke right now. But let me see this season before I decide. Like I'm not saying who's the best. There's a couple of
No,
names.
it's a lot. It's a lot of people that talk about Van Dyke. I watched one game, and like I said, I didn't get a chance to do a deep dive. And I mean, I kind of turned it off. It was late, so I was like, So I got to go back and watch him because a lot of people are talking about him in a good light. So I got to go back and look at Van Dyke.
I know. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, just real quick. And I listened to Tiki Barber, man, and Tiki Barber actually, and I'm not making this up, on WFAN, he referred to Van Dyke as a younger version of Peyton Manning, the next Peyton Manning-like quarterback to come into
I heard
the NFL.
that.
So,
Yeah, I heard
hey,
that
it
also.
means something coming from Tiki Barber. It just does. It does.
Yeah, I
I'll
heard
be
that.
honest with you. Shout out to NYG. I know you like Anthony Richardson, and I like the kid too. But you're gonna have to have a vision like how John Harbaugh and the great GM that they had before he retired after that year,
Ozzie Newsome.
Ozzie Newsome. Anthony Richardson, you're gonna have to build your team around him, like literally. You're gonna have to. But I think he could be dynamite if he gets put with the right hands. NYG. I'm not gonna lie to you.
He gives me Cam Newton vibes, man. At Auburn.
Yeah, and he runs faster than Cam Newton.
Yeah,
way
he's faster. Yeah, he's more athletic.
Yeah,
and if he passes that ball the way I think he can pass the ball this year, I think he'll shoot up some. I wouldn't mind if we got Anthony Richardson. I know we ready to go because if you put him out there with Robinson, Tony, whoever else out there, that's dangerous as shit, man. Because he can take off at any given moment. And he has speed to be that big.
I was going to say, too, which one of these quarterbacks you think has the best fit with the system that Kafka and Dable are going to run in this offense?
I'm going to say Van Dyke or Levis. But if they just alter it, just tweak it a little bit, Anthony Richardson is a monster.
I think Levis is the
they be looking at him because of the pairing with Wandale Robinson goes off this year. Do you think that gives Will Levis more, you know what I'm saying? Like, would they be looking at him more because of Robinson? Would that give him a leg up?
Not in my eyes, but
I
maybe. I don't think so. I just think that Josh Allen type quarterback is what they want. That's what they want because that's what they had success with. You can't blame them. But I'm telling you, if they just alter it and tweak it just a little bit, Anthony Richardson can be a monster with them.
I gotta watch a little more of him. Is that the Gators kid?
Yeah.
They'll want to.
He doesn't have a lot of starts.
Quarterbacks.
He doesn't have a lot of starts, Miz.
I know. I seen some.
I don't want this to turn into you know what I'm getting to. I don't want this to turn into a race thing. No. They don't want
I'm gonna go try to see him
Richardson because of that. But Anthony Richardson is nice, but I just think that the Van Dyke kid is probably their best target, or Will Levis. And they're both talented individuals, and they both have great instincts.
Yeah. Also, Van Dyke got a better chance of being there.
Does Richardson remind you of a better athlete, of a Fields type, but better athlete?
He reminds me of a Cam Newton type that can actually. I mean, Cam Newton can run, but this dude can run. Like, damn!
Steve
I didn't know he was that fast.
Steve McNair a little bit?
Huh?
Steve McNair?
He's more athletic than Steve.
He's way more athletic than Steve McNair, but Steve McNair is a better passer than both those guys combined.
Yeah.
Aaron McNair was the truth, boy.
Yeah, McNeil is a really good pocket passer, man.
Tough as
You got
hell
a cannon.
too.
But that Anthony Richardson can throw it 70 yards too, though. But
yeah,
it's the accuracy. It's the accuracy and knowing how to throw your receiver open is what I'm worried about. That
Sound
he has
just
to work
like Josh
on.
Allen. Sound just like
Right.
Josh Allen coming out of
Right.
Wyoming.
And he had to work on that. People forget that Josh Allen had similar stats to Daniel Jones his first 2 years.
Yes,
like Daniel Jones actually had a better rating.
Yo, do me a favor. I forgot his name on the bottom. I'm sorry, Dash. Do me a favor. Go look up Van Dyke's highlights. If you want to see the most accurate quarterback coming out of college, you go look at all these guys and you will come back to me. Van Dyke is by far the most accurate down the field QB, and you'll see. You'll see.
Yeah,
give me a game. Give me a game. Not a highlight. Give me a game. Give me one of them games to watch.
Florida State.
Yeah, look up some of those games. Look up some of his games. See more than one.
Yeah, no problem. I'll check the highlights too, but I like to watch full games too.
I like the all 22.
What about the Ohio
If you
State
can get your
game?
hands on the all 22, yeah.
I mean, from what I saw, man, I mean, this kid's hitting receivers 30, 40, 60 yards down the field, and he's not hitting them where they got to turn around. He's hitting them in stride, and these weren't straight breakaways. These were deep post routes. I mean, he was putting balls where receivers will stay in their stride at full speed.
Yeah.
So that's what impressed me.
He's got good deep ball accuracy.
I'm on the West Coast, so it's only 9 o'clock over here. I'm gonna check him out tonight.
Yeah, take a look at him. You might like what you see.
Well, I know what's going on, Alex. I know I'm about to cut it off here. I know it's 12 o'clock. Where you
really
guys
quick,
are.
Go ahead. My bad.
Go ahead,
I keep
Nimmer.
cutting you off every time. Sorry.
Go ahead, Nimmer.
Okay. I was gonna say Joe Shane last time, whenever he was up for the draft, he was talking to CJ Stroud a lot. I think he could be into CJ Stroud.
Yeah, like, he's definitely in play. CJ Stroud is nice. I mean, he's not as. I think he got great instincts. He's just not as fast as the other guys that we're saying. Huh?
You want to know something? And if these QBs have a really good season in college this year, and we already hyped just talking 10 minutes about them, imagine there's no way the Giants are going to bypass one in next year's draft. I'm telling you.
Absolutely not.
Happy birthday, Alex.
Happy birthday, Alex.
Happy birthday, Alex, bro.
Shout out to Bobby Powers. I don't like Grayson McCall at all. Yeah, he's only 19.
Yeah. By the way, Delia made a good
he's
point.
a twin too, right? You know,
I didn't know that. Twins
Yeah,
brother's
yeah.
a Jet fan.
Happy
his
birthday,
twin
man.
brother's a Jets fan. So
I
happy
sat with
birthday
them
to
at
you and your brother.
I sat
like
with
Big
them
Blue.
at Fan Fest, man. They're good, very good kids,
Yeah,
man.
no, I
They're
like
good-
Big
good
Blue.
guys, man.
I watch a lot of his stuff.
He's
Yeah, I
very
like Big Blue.
talented.
One thing Delia made a good point. If you scroll up, he made a good point. I could briefly sum it up. He said, let's see how Stroud plays this year without those receivers that were just drafted.
Thank you.
That's big.
Olave and Wilson.
So I got
Yeah,
a
he
question
has
for
some
you
monsters.
guys. So when I look at CJ Stroud, that's the main thing I look at is who he's throwing to. I do like his anticipation though. He has good anticipation, but those receivers, the tight ends, it's nobody 2-3 yards next to him.
Mhm.
So he has great time and he has a good arm, great anticipation, but like I said, I haven't seen him throwing to any tight windows.
And those Ohio State quarterbacks have disappointed.
Fool's gold.
Justin Fields is their only hope right now. Because all the other no, you can't count Joe Burrow because he did his dirty work with LSU.
Yeah.
So yeah, those Ohio State quarterbacks really disappointed.
And you know what? We were talking about it. Me and Pat and I were talking about it, and you hate to bring it up because the kid, passed away, unfortunately. And you know, he didn't deserve that. But if you looked at Haskins coming out, the Giants took so much crap from the media in this country for not drafting him. But if you looked at the most of his throws, all the stats he got, these were 5-yard slants where the receivers were able to tear the throw for 80.
Yeah,
So many scores.
Man, he had McLaurin. He had the other man. He had like
Curtis
4 good
Samuel,
receivers.
too.
Yeah.
Paris Smith was another one.
Paris Campbell, McLaurin,
Paris
Curtis Samuel.
McLaurin.
Curtis Samuel, he had a lot.
You look at a kid like this as a quarterback, right? You look at a kid like this now, you know you're going to the NFL. What are they going to do? They're going to stack the front and make you throw the ball over the top. Let's see if you could do that. And he was not able to do it, man.
That's what scares me about Stroud.
I think Joe Shane and Brian Dable are going to look for those high ceiling quarterbacks like a Josh Allen, like a Patrick Mahomes. They're going to look for those quarterbacks that have the ability to be great if developed properly, not the quarterbacks that can come in and just basically be average. So I think you're going to see a change in philosophy when drafting a quarterback. They're going to look for a more high upside quarterback as opposed to somebody that just has great stats in college. So don't be surprised if they get one of these quarterbacks that not a lot of people talk about.
They could take Anthony Richardson if they believe he has the arm to get it done. They could take him because I promise you, if they build a system around that kid could be very freaking dangerous, man.
Yeah, to me, got the highest.
You got something to say, Lou? Yeah.
Say what?
I say you look like you got something to say. What's going on?
No, I was just listening because I had to try to put the baby back to sleep, so I missed a lot. I wanted to listen to see what the discussion was about before I say anything.
Well, we were just talking about future quarterbacks. If Daniel Jones fails this year, and even if he does produce, he has to produce at a high level to even be back on this team. But go ahead, man.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to say because I was gonna get off. I'm getting tired, man. It's a great stream. I'm happy to be back. But I wanted to say one thing about Jones, and I actually back him up against all these people on Twitter, which I'm getting tired of doing. So I try to support the guy because he's gonna wear our jersey week 1. So I'm gonna root for my team to win. I'm not gonna root to lose. But with Daniel Jones, the biggest problem I see with Daniel Jones is this, and I don't know if he's able to clean this up. He waits, he holds the ball long because he waits for the receiver to actually get to the spot instead of putting the ball out there and anticipate that his receiver will meet the ball there. And that's something you might not be able to take out of a quarterback because he just doesn't trust players.
He doesn't know how to lead his receivers.
Yeah, he doesn't throw anybody open. You can't teach that either. Anticipation, you can't teach anticipation. That's something you got to have.
And I don't never had chemistry with these guys either. These guys are always in and out of the lineup every 2 seconds.
Bro, and you know who was great at that? Like, to me, was one of the best ever. Peyton Manning, man.
Yeah,
he was so amazing at that. Like, he would look at places where he knew he wasn't throwing the ball anyway, and then he would go to the spot. The ball would meet the receiver in stride, you know?
Yeah,
I don't know if Jones is going to be able to do that. I'll be honest.
Yeah, Drew
Brees had that nice touch as well. If he can't do that, he'll always be a backup.
Arch Manning will be able to do it.
Hey, we got Arch Manning. We got some bad years coming up. We have Arch Manning at the Giants. We got some bad years coming up, brother. I promise you.
Nah, we're not getting
I think actually,
it would be awesome to have another Manning at quarterback, though.
That's what I'm saying.
I think actually, despite the quarterback issues, I think the Giants can still hold it down and win 7 to 9 games just based on what we talked about earlier.
If that defense balls NYG, they can.
The defense will be a big reason why his team is going to win 7 9 games.
But we're going to have to give up the farm to get a quarterback.
We going 11-6 with y'all disrespectful, no faith having that. All a bunch of doubting Thomases.
Hey Pat, nobody cares what you give up if the quarterback's a hit.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's what I've been saying. But everybody was like, man, you need to take a quarterback this year. I say, look, man, if you can get your franchise quarterback, you'll give up a first.
You don't care what it costs.
You don't care what it costs.
Yeah, if you can guarantee I got a franchise quarterback for the next 10 to 12, 13 years, I don't care what it costs.
Yeah. Look at what we gave up to get Eli.
I was about to say that. We gave up the farm for Eli Manning. We got made fun of and ridiculed. Oh, you guys gave up this. You guys gave up Sean Marion. This guy, that guy. Look what ended up happening in the end. You won us 2 Super Bowls.
Listen, y'all can all clown me for saying 11-6. Y'all can all laugh.
Are you gonna get the T-shirt ready for that, Lou?
No. Y'all all forget that Peter walked on water with Jesus too. You know what I'm saying? As long as he kept his eye on the prize, he was walking on that water. It was when he looked away.
Hey, yo, Lou,
Maybe
forgive me,
started
but
saying-
maybe even Jesus can't make the Giants 11-6.
And that's me to forgive you. That's God to forgive you for that blasphemous statement right there.
Right. Right. Jesus will have us 18-0.
Right.
You just better fucking hope. You better fucking hope we're not on this stream after week 2 at 0-2 because it's gonna be bad stuff.
Here we go again.
Well, I'm just
Oh,
giving
yeah.
you. I'm giving you a chance, an opportunity to look at reality because that's what we've seen every year.
Do you believe we can beat Detroit? I think we can, but do you believe we can beat Detroit, or do you just think that we're gonna go 2-15? Because if we can't beat Detroit, we're 2-15.
Yo,
I think Detroit's gonna be a sleeper this year.
One thing about Detroit, they're gonna be a feisty team to play.
Tough,
yeah. Sleeper.
Yeah.
One thing about New York, we're gonna stomp a mud hole in 11 teams. That's a damn fact.
I stop at 11. Why don't we go higher?
Let's go 12-5.
No, because we're gonna go through some growing pains because this offensive line has to gel, and some of these young guys have to learn the playbook and learn the verbiage and all that. So we're gonna go through some growing pains. 11-6 is a good solid number.
Let's just hope we don't have one of those streams where the Miz is cursing at Sterling Shepard for like coming up lame and falling on his ass again.
I'm not mad at Sterling Shepard. Let's just hope we get to Halloween and we still could talk about football and not the draft. How about that?
Oh God, yeah.
Yes, please.
Straight up. September. Sometimes we're done it by like the end of September. Our season's over.
I go one holiday at a time now. First Halloween, then Thanksgiving, then Christmas. So we go one holiday at a time. That's how I phase the football season now.
By Yom Kippur, we're done.
Yo.
Hey, I'm sorry. That's the truth. And if we get past Thanksgiving and we're still playing real games, you know what? I'll be happy. Whatever happens.
Yep. Whatever happens,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But man, y'all got any final statements before we get up out of here? We've been on here almost 3 hours. Shout out to the consistent 30 to 40 in the chat. Thank you guys for watching with us this late. But any last things for you fellas before we get up out of here?
Yeah, make sure y'all stay tuned Saturday for Leather to the Face. We will be calling the Joshua and Alexander Usyk fight, as well as the Adrian Broner fight on Saturday, Leather to the Face. And then Sunday, we'll be calling the game on Big Pass channel.
Let's
go. Well, I just want to thank you guys for having me, man. And if you have me again, I'll definitely want to join in with you guys whenever you guys are doing this.
Okay, cool. We got you, bro.
No doubt about it. Love what you're doing in the game.
Follow on Twitter so we can follow back, because that's how we send you the link.
I got you. I'm following Pat already. I think I got J-Lay too.
Yeah,
and Miz Jeffy.
Yeah,
NYG too.
Yeah.
I'm too light skinned to get the follow. See how they do?
Hey man, I'm light skinned too.
But man, I appreciate all you guys coming on. Miz, thank you for being on here. Good to have the old bald head Miz back, man. Good to see you. Talking Giants.
Coach Miz.
You got that Florida team.
Defensive coach. I like this, right? I got that double jacket, right? She bought it for me.
Get that play sheet ready, Miz.
But appreciate you guys, man. You all you guys be blessed, man. Until the next time, smoke screen. We out of here, man.
11-6.
If I could get to the smoke screen.
12-5. No, I'm joking.
Damn it, Slay.